experience been so far?
Well, you've eaten your body weight in croissants. I've eaten mine in gazpacho. It has been absolutely phenomenal. But we are here for the Call of Duty Warzone Resurgence Championship. It is going to be a fantastic time. Let's talk, I think, a little bit about how our players are going to be kind of getting their points that they need for this event. So obviously, just a quick little update for any of you at home. You're going to be getting 1 point per kill. Then depending on where your team ends up in a game, you're going to be getting a placement multiplier. Very important when it comes to these first 2 days.
Yes, and of course, our teams are competing for a $1 million prize pool. Man, I wish we could take some of that money.
I know.
We have Groups A versus B today, and they have something to prove. And then tomorrow, we will crush the keys and the dreams of our bottom 3 teams.
It's going to be really fun to watch this. I mean, we have just powerhouse teams across Groups A and Group B. Of course, we have favorites in Group A like Virtus Pro and Vitality from North America. From the EU side, we have teams like T1 and the Ravens. But also, we can't forget some of our extra regions that were able to make it through to the Esports World Cup. I'm thinking teams like FaZe from Latin America and also Stallions from MENA. Group B, still hot and heavy with the competition. A lot of teams there you have to look out for is teams like Leviathan, Orchid, G2, some of the favorites that you know in the Call of Duty Warzone space. And it's just going to be really fun to watch these teams battle over these 2 days.
We've got some stacked lobbies, and of course, we can't leave out Twisted Minds, our EWC 25 champions. So make sure that you have your faces glued to the screen because you don't want to miss this.
It's going to be an action-packed week. Let's go ahead. Let's listen in on how these next couple days of competition are going to go ahead.
Call of Duty Warzone returns to the Esports World Cup for its 3rd year, and this season is bigger than ever. Welcome to the Call of Duty Warzone Resurgence Series Championship. 32 teams have qualified for EWC 2026 and will battle through 3 stages of competition for a share of $1 million and valuable club championship points. Teams from around the world earned their place through online qualifiers and 2 Resurgence Series LAN events. 4 teams qualified through DreamHack Birmingham, while 5 secured their spot at DreamHack Atlanta. The remaining 22 teams qualified online. And returning to defend their title, Twisted Minds are back at the Esports World Cup. The competition begins with 2 groups of 16 teams. Across the 2-day group stage, each group will play the top 5 teams from each group advance directly to the grand final. Teams finishing 6th through 13th move on to the survival stage, while the bottom 3 teams in each group are eliminated. Day 3 is the survival stage. Frag or go home. 16 teams will battle across 10 matches, with only the top 6 advancing to the grand final. The remaining 10 teams will see their tournament run come to an end. Sunday brings the match point grand final. Once a team reaches 150 points, they become eligible to win the championship with a match victory in any following game. A team cannot win the title in the same match they reach match point. The first team to win on match point will be crowned champions, while all other teams will be ranked by total points. Competition will be played across 3 maps: Rebirth Island, Haven's Hollow, and Fortune's Keep. During the group stage, maps rotate every 2 matches. During the survival stage and grand final, maps rotate every 2 matches through Game 6, and then every match from Game 7 onward. And that's everything you need to know about the Call of Duty Warzone Resurgence Series Championship. Now sit back, relax, and get ready for some intense Warzone action.
Approaching the halfway mark here over at EWC, which means that the club championship points are getting much more crucial. A lot is happening, and it feels like the big dogs are not the ones that are stepping up to the table this time around, Lauren. So what's going on with your stage?
All right, well, for a quick recap of what we had in PUBG Battlegrounds, it was VP that came out on top, and they did so in very strong fashion. They headed into the last day finals with a lead, and then never dropped it to the point where they even went out early in the last match on finals, and it truly did not matter. They got the win that they needed in order to be trophy eligible for CC, and now they're in 2nd place overall. So massive for them. But looking towards what we have coming up, we've got Warzone right around the corner, and it is another lobby stacked with CC squads. We've got defending champs and Twisted Minds, but they've been so inconsistent they might not be able to bring it home yet again. We also have Falcons in here, and this is probably the biggest one in this lobby because they actually could get a win in Warzone, the win that they need, especially with Hisoka, the best player in the world on the squad.
I mean, look, for us, it's MLBB again, right? We had the previous week, we were getting the qualification to get through to the knockout stages, which was a weird one. We had Team Liquid coming into this event as our favorites, 100%. Everyone was like, Team Liquid are going to win.
You say it a lot.
Yeah, well, this has been happening a lot for Liquid. Still sitting on pretty much 0 points. They got knocked out in really devastating fashion, honestly. Then towards the latter end of the day, we actually had a Falcons v Falcons matchup. For both those two teams, it could have been a top 8 placement, but at least they had a guarantee that they were going to get there, of course. So Falcons are through. But today is where we start our knockouts. Vitality and Falcons going up against each other today, this afternoon. Loser goes home. So that's a massive one. But the team to watch out for, I think, this week for MLBB at the MSC is Aurora. They are a really, really strong outfit. They're one of the teams who surprised a lot of people. We're keeping an eye on them.
All right, and then we have that stage 4 TFT last week. What's going on this week?
Yeah, well, keeping it the same with Aurora, they kind of managed to only get second. They were just edged out by Team Vision in the grand final. So Team Vision wrapping up their Esports World Cup journey. They were only in Apex and TFT. They managed to get 1,750 points, which I don't think is anything to complain about because that managed to get a team $700,000 last year. So I think that's a pretty good performance from Team Vision. We're on to Street Fighter 6 this week, though, and it's Team Falcons. They're fielding 3 players. They've got the reigning champ in Zhao Hai. He was supposed to come out strong in Fatal Fury City of the Wolves at the start of Esports World Cup, but fell out early. So he's looking to make a few reparations here and there and get the win yet again in Street Fighter 6.
Seems like Falcons is the name of the game this week. For us last week, Hyperspirit were the ones that were able to close it out on the AFC, but Falcons this time around are the ones that are the defending title champions. Overwatch 2 last year was the only title they won to actually make them eligible to win CC. So a lot of pressure going on this roster, regardless of the slow start that they've had so far this season. Whether or not they can do it, we're going to find out by the end of this week, and we will, of course, keep you updated.
$75 million, 25 tournaments, over 200 clubs, only one club champion. The club championship is the beating heart of the Esports World Cup. Over 7 weeks, esports clubs send their players to compete. Every placement, every win, every podium earns points for their club. At the end of 7 weeks, every point counts. The club at the top walks away with $7 million and the title of Best Esports Club in the world. It's not about being the best at one game. It's about being the best across all of them. Depth, versatility, consistency under pressure. One championship trophy, one title. Who will take it? Watch history unfold in Paris at the Esports World Cup 2026.
The club championship is starting to heat up at EWC, but this week is none other than COD Warzone Resurgence Championship at EWC 26. You might be wondering who the heck I am. My name is the 7WG, and I'm not going to be doing this all by myself. I'm joined by none other than Mal Ross, Lace, and I Hold Shift. Shift, how are we feeling?
I mean, come on, it is electric in here. It would hard to believe that this is all put together in only a short couple of weeks. It's looking awesome, looking fun. We got drums, we've got fun, we've got all sorts of noise and craziness taking place behind us. I've just been amazed walking around the entire arena, seeing what, there's a football court there, basketball here, there's all sorts going on, tons for the family. Come on down.
I'm just happy to be here.
I'm just here so I don't get fined. That's what Lace meant to say. But for everybody currently watching at home, don't forget that you can actually go to the EWC Play app and do your pick'ems. You can win surprises there. Just do some predictions. If you guys can maybe get some right, we might even end up interviewing you, or you might end up winning a trip, because I know there's a lot of cool prizes. Somebody ended up winning, I think, $1,000 last week. So why not just that? We'll maybe end up doing our picks later on. And if you are sharing anything on social media, make sure you use the hashtag EWC and hashtag EWC26, because we will be just tracking it down, and we will see if we can maybe find some tweets out there.
There's going to be some gems, especially from our players. Our players, foul-mouthed, foul-brained, good people, though. Good hearts. But those fingers are horrible.
I just want to see Soka just doing that. Yes. I didn't get a chance to you guys last year when it ended up happening. This time. Well, let's take a look at the groups that are actually going to be playing this week, because we do have 2 days of groups, as you saw earlier, and we will be starting off with Group A.
Yeah, and this is where Twisted Minds is living right now. This is your champion from last year. Different roster, different expectations, maybe not so much. The other side of this group, though, that I'm really excited about, Ravens have been undeniable in terms of their kill participation. Just comes down to, can they actually close out a round and find a championship? You still have a couple of sleepers in here. You're looking at Gen G, looking at Vitality, both, again, restoring some of that faith that they were able to build when they were under the Twisted Minds banner last year.
And so many French teams in this southern bracket. So many French teams. If you've been watching Call of Duty for a while now, you know that there's an incredible turnout here. So much energy, so much love from our Parisian friends.
I'm excited to see what the home crowd's going to be like. I know Luti, our stage host, is going to be happy because he finally gets to speak French after like 4 weeks, and the crowd is going to be high. But looking at this squads, I mean, we will be starting off Group A. We'll be talking about Group B later on, which that's Falcons is there, and I know that's definitely one of the favorite ones. But if we're going to be going to the Sony story of the day, we have to start off with Twisted Minds, Lace, because Twisted Minds, they are the defending champions, but it's not the same roster.
Yeah, I mean, on paper, they're EWC champions from last year, but that is with a roster change just happening last year, and that is Shifty coming from none other than Team Falcons, joining the Twisted Minds. And look, Shifty, he's a talented player, but he's got a little bit of an attitude, and he knows it. So he is here to prove not only that he can make it on any single team, but that is against, obviously, Team Falcons coming a little bit later. Look, Team Falcons, they lost a rifle, they've lost a player, and I think Shifty knows that as well. But look, this isn't just another lobby for Twisted Minds. This is Shifty to prove that he can do that, and also Twisted Minds themselves to prove that they can go back to back.
Yeah, and they're kind of scrambling a little bit to keep up with what Falcons' pace has looked like so far this year. You make another roster change just after the most recent land. Smith's now out. Blast is now in. So you're trying to find this mojo at the right time, and hopefully the recipe breeds some success for them to kind of go back to back.
I'm excited to see what they can do, and I'm excited to see the beef. I'm hoping Twisted Minds and Falcons will end up making it to the finals. Honestly, they will end up making it because they're one of the favorites, especially when you talk about Falcons. But as we're looking at the club championship rankings, something that I want you to keep in mind, and a team that's actually going to be playing this week as well, no, it's not Falcons. I'm looking at the third place, Team Vitality, because Team Vitality, you have lost first place already in club championship. You want to be able to climb up, and if you do end up winning here, it's not just 250,000 that the players are going to be taking. They're going to be taking 1,000 points for the club championship.
It's incredible. So much money, so much pride for these players, and I think for the individuals as well. For Smith, you leave that Twisted Minds roster, you find yourself in a shaky season, and now on this Team Vitality squad, I got to talk to him previously, before the day started, and he's feeling great. He's incredibly confident. He's got two really, really capable teammates that have had a rough year. They've had so many ups and downs. This is the ultimate get back after a bad year. You can forget about Atlanta. You can forget about Birmingham. You can forget about all of that. This is one weekend to rule them all.
One weekend to rule them all and hopefully just climb to that first place at the club championship. We're talking about earlier Twisted Minds, how they're the defending champions. They really don't have the roster. Why don't we talk about Gen G? Because Gen G has one of those players that ended up winning last year, and none other than Aiden.
Yeah, it's been interesting to follow this Gen G team because Aiden gets put onto this roster, and immediately you're thinking like, oh, they're going to be a team to watch. So far through both LAN performances, they've been very underwhelming. So kind of in the same story point that you're talking about with Vitality, Gen G's opening group, they also need to show us something right from day one.
Okay, well, all these teams, man, I'm so excited to see which teams are going to actually end up doing good in this first day and which teams might end up choking a little bit, because we've seen it happen multiple times to play with, and I'm not sure if it's with Gen G, Vitality, or Twisted Minds, because we talk a lot about teams.
How you doing? Can I talk to you for a second? ¿Cómo estás?
Muy bien. English or Spanish?
Huh?
English or Spanish?
Whatever you want to do. Let's do English, okay, for the people out there, all right?
And if I can say words in Spanish at the end?
Yeah, always. This is your show, baby, okay? You got the FaZe jersey on. How does it feel to be in the venue today?
I mean, honestly, it's just like a dream come true, like being able to represent such a big org like FaZe. I mean, just like a dream. And also, I mean, I'm excited, I play in front of the crowd. I mean, we're on Paris. I mean, bro, I'm excited. play.
Man, I'm excited to watch y'all play. We know the support you guys got. We know Swag and the new squad and everybody's watching at home. They are looking for a good performance. They want to see FaZe on top. You and the boys, y'all ready to go? Y'all got the practice in?
Yeah, I mean, you know, at first, I mean, we were struggling a little bit, but we started to figure it out. I mean, we got you know, like the face buff, you know? I mean, we got it. So, yeah, we've been practicing. We're confident, and yeah.
All right, yo, best of luck to you, man, okay? Anything you want to say to the fans in Spanish?
Para toda la gente banda que está en la casa, espero que nos estén apoyando, los amo y vamos a sacarlo toda la cancha. Vamos, cabrones.
Vamos! Let's get it, Clamps. As you see, the players, they're coming in hot like clockwork, all right? A bunch of them just walk that way, so let's see if we can go in, catch up with a few. I saw Shifty walk in. I saw Aiden walk in. I even want to talk to Skullface. Hey, maybe we even get a chance to talk to Z Smith also. But, man, you know, these are the vibes in which we want. Everyone is elated to be back on land, to play. Like, this is EWC, everybody, all right? Now, when it comes down to our previous champions, we have all three playing in Group A, okay? We have Z Smith, we got Aiden, we got Almond as well. They're doing their thing out here. Let's see if we can go up here and catch up to a few of them right now as they're about to get in to their stations set up and they start. I got a few Falcons here in front of me right now, okay? Yo, Falcons, you guys ready to play today?
Not Falcons, it's Ravens.
My fault. Sorry, Falcons. It's Ravens. You know what? I get my birds mixed up sometimes. Ravens. You guys ready to go?
Of course.
Yeah?
We are.
Okay, so looking at it all, you know, being here at EWC, how does it feel to be in this venue?
It's insane event. Everyone is cool. I like everything. Thank you for everything.
Yep. All right, let's get it, Ravens. Guys, sometimes I get my birds mixed up, okay? It be like that. But let's move through the crowd a little bit here as we got our players starting to come to the stage. Everyone's getting set up. We even got fans starting to come in the building right now. All right, guys, we are walking to the stage and look at this. Isn't it beautiful? You know, everybody's coming on through. We're about to get things popping off. You all good? How you doing, man?
Good. How you doing?
Nah, you're fine, man. I'm doing fantastic. I actually want to talk to you two as well. Here, let's come up here and let's have a little chat. Oh, man. So playing with VP, ready to start throwing down on the stage, man. How are you feeling just being at EWC?
I'm excited, bro. That atmosphere is dope. It's my first EWC.
Woo!
I'm ready to kill it with the team. I'm overall excited, bro. It's a blessing to be here. I'm excited.
I mean, it truly is a blessing to be here, okay? Now, we know that you guys got what it takes to come out and lift this trophy, man. How has preparation been? How has the practice been going with you and the boys?
It's been a lot of ups and downs, but I think overall we're all ready. We're all hungry. It's a lot of money on the line, life-changing money. So I think it's time to give it our all. You know, whatever happens, happens. I'm excited.
Whatever happens, happens. All right, show the man some love, okay? Best luck to you. I see you out there.
Oh, Blaze with the amazing interviews. Thank you, Blaze. Earlier, we got a chance to talk about some of those top teams that we're expecting to be in the finals. How about we switch it up a little bit, Shiv? How about we talk some squads that you might think might be able to surprise us here in Group A?
Yeah, I mean, I think still the storyline for me still rests between Gen G and Vitality. Both teams looking for that little bit of an extra improvement boost, but at the same point, and we'll get into the nitty-gritty deeper down as we start to see these drops, Ravens are going to be contested on a lot of their drop locations by those two teams. And I'm just going to go ahead and give you my hot take. I think Ravens going to struggle to get out of groups today.
Oh. Well, there's something about lands. There's something about, you know, some of the regions. North America typically dominates the Warzone world. Europe very, very close behind. You got like the LATAM region, you have the EPEC region. These are the guys who get overlooked regularly, and that's what I'm more interested about. These contestants. Someone's pulling out some tech you've not seen yet. They haven't been able to pre-boot camp in advance of the tournament. You're playing online, you're playing in your local region. This is where we see the goods. Where are the nuggets? I want to see some spells being casted today. But ultimately, you know, usually North America on top. Big contested moments happening all day.
Yeah, I think the other team to keep an eye out for, T1, looking like they're on a bit of a trend upwards. And again, not to just get into the minutia, but they're going to have some drop spots that they can farm up on some of the lower teams. So I expect them to set some extra pace and put everyone I noticed today as potential dark horse in Group A. I don't know. I'm looking forward to them.
A couple of dark horses in this tournament as well, which is the beauty of Warzone.
Yeah, I mean, if we have a look back at T1, even across like the club championship, you say that, you know, they're on the upward trend. This entire org are elimination kill heavy types of teams. And I don't think that's going to stop in Warzone as well. I mean, we're going to see an absolute beamer from T1, which I'm super excited and obviously is necessary in our group stages to rack up those points.
All right. Well, I think it's time. I think it's time we get ready. You know what, James, do me a favor, throw me that ball real quick. Okay, you did it with a bounce pass. I appreciate it. Now, before we head to the stage, I was going to take the shot, but Shift, my boy, here, just
don't miss.
Don't even matter. Don't miss this one. You got it.
Shift.
Let's get started, baby.
We believe. It was a goal. I saw a goal.
You miss every shot you don't take.
The ball was flat.
Mesdames et messieurs, bienvenue. Nous y voici, les meilleurs joueurs de Warzone du monde entier ont donné rendez-vous aujourd'hui sur cette scène à Paris pour s'affronter à l'eSports World Cup.
32 teams step onto the Gadia City grid and put everything on the line for a chance at glory. 4 days of competition, $1 million on the line, and a legacy that can't be taken. It has to be earned.
L'année dernière, la compétition a été exceptionnelle avec plein de rebondissements. Cette année encore, plein de favoris. Beaucoup de surprises nous attendent. 4 jours de compétition, 2 jours de groupe, 1 jour de survival stage et une grande finale dimanche. Je suis Lutti et je serai votre host en français toute la compétition, accompagné de incroyable.
After a painstaking search, we finally have the best players in the world ready to go toe-to-toe. It's going to be a trial by fire, and we wouldn't have it any other way. My name's Barney Banks, and I'm your host alongside the incredible Luty, and it is about that time that we introduce your teams from Group A to the main stage, starting with H1.
Team Stadiums!
Novo Esports.
Team PBJ.
T1.
CT Gaming.
Eclectic.
Team Heretics.
First Squad.
GK Esports.
Virtus Pro.
FaZe Clan.
Gen G Esports.
Ravens Esports.
Team Vitality.
And finally, your defending champions of EWC, Team Twisted Mind! Le groupe A est maintenant en place. Il n'y a pas de meilleur moment que le premier jour pour marquer les esprits et gagner en confiance sur cette scène.
Believe me, this week is going to be one of the most extraordinary weeks of Warzone you have ever witnessed. And it all starts right here in the Port de Versailles at the Esports World Cup.
Things happen. I don't really want to air out, made some roster moves, but I'm confident with the team I'm here playing with.
I am no longer on Twisted Minds because they wanted to try another teammate. That ended up not working out in general, but I think just some, reconstruction over there.
Twisted Minds, they've put all their eggs in this basket. They've clearly felt that pressure, moved with it, and I'd love to be a fly in the room. I think they would regret it internally.
When things are, going behind your back and everything like that, it's just hard to call yourself a team, and that's always going to be sitting there and with a sour taste in your mouth.
Twisted Minds are out.
I don't think there's any fixing this. I think this is a tough. I don't want to do this and leave the that I've called home for the past 2 EWCs, brought them their first trophy ever.
Me and Shifty have been, I would say, pretty close friends going into this year, and then we'd always talk and just joke about teaming, and I kind of almost, I want to say manifested it, but I knew that if I wanted to win the tournament this year, I was I have to play with this guy because he is I would say he's the go to Warzone.
I know myself and Blast joining this team, and we hadn't been on it when they won.
adds a little bit more pressure. Personally, I like it though. I think if we don't win this year, then I look at it like, oh, we failed. You know what I mean? In terms of that team previously did win, and if I join the team, it would continue that championship run that they're on. So it is more pressure, but I like it.
Incredibly confident. I'll never play a tournament without the expectation to win.
I'm pretty confident. Maybe like a month or two ago when we were still figuring out our roles and there was road bumps, I was not in the mindset I am now. But the last couple of weeks, like we've really been figuring it out. And I genuinely, like truly believe that we have the capability to hit match point and close now.
I'm here to defend the title and get that trophy again.
I'm here again at EWC. It's time to go back to back.
I feel really confident with the boys. It's been really good, and I'm super excited to play with them.
A year ago today, we watched that team hoist a trophy, splintered off into the wind this year. You hear some amazing words from all three players about their expectations this year, Enigma. During those walkouts, I'm looking at Smith staring right across the aisle at Blast, the player that replaced him, and he looked a little angry. I'm seeing some fire in his eyes. I think that's going to be a great kickstart to day number 1 here at the Esports World Cup.
Yeah, most certainly. It is, of course, a situation for that Twisted Mind team of trying to defend that title, but splintered, fractured now, and you have got those other pieces on these other organizations looking to take down a flag and a jersey and a badge that they once called their own here inside of Paris, France. All of our teams getting locked in, loaded for the first drop of the Esports World Cup, and to be inside the minds, to understand what they're thinking as the hush comes in over the crowd.
It's been months, it's been weeks, 2-a-day scrims, online tournaments, flying across the world, playing from setups that you are uncomfortable with. But the reality is, Enigma, that is all practice. That is all preparation.
It is.
This is where you decide, was all of that worth it? Was all of the hours, the sacrifice, the sweat, the tears, the camaraderie amongst your team, did it all matter? Because here is the first time where you are scoring where is 2 days of group play, ladies and gentlemen. 6 games for each group each day. Like Andy said, every single kill matters. Because when we get down to the end of day number 2, we're going to watch a team potentially get eliminated by only a handful of points.
Oh, most certainly. It comes down to fine margins. We wouldn't want it any other way. And it's not just about what happens inside a Warzone, the club championship, the organizations that have backed you into this tournament, all their hopes rest on your shoulders. The pressure, not only that you would feel internally, but all of the external factors. The crowd here as well in Paris will have their microscope on you every single step of the way.
It's going to be a really good day, I can tell you that much. Here, kicking it off with Group A, we got defending champions. We got teams trying to make their name known. We can just see everybody in the crowd getting ready to watch all of the action unfold here. But man, as we get ready to drop on in here, what are we expecting to see from some of our top teams? Any hot locations on the map? Anybody that you think is going to take advantage of this first drop and come out swinging?
I think there's instantly 2 drops that we really want to see. It's going to be Mansion, Twisted Minds against Ravens. Twisted, on paper, one of the best teams in the world, but have struggled recently, particularly against the contest of the Ravens, who've been running amok at the house. But it is also, of course, over towards Train. T1 and Vitality have waged war there all year long. Back and forth we go, and with the ebb and the flow, so often decided maps and tournaments. So that's where we want to start. That's where we want to take a look in. And we will get straight into the fight at Mansion. Shifty will get Nielsen.
Already the battle continuing to rage on. They just talked about it. We knew that this contest was happening. It's happened all year long, but how does it feel on LAN again, boys? As it is just haymakers back and forth from Ravens Esports and none other than Twisted Minds.
Try and slow it down for a moment. Blastotes will not give you the privilege. Now looking to rotate his way out, outnumbered at the top of Mansion, and does the right thing to get into the lower side. Just try to buy a moment for his boys to get back into the mix. You'll have one in the skies, providing that UAV. And Shifty looking to play out through the stairwell. Yet again, T1, they also have company here, not just from Vitality, but First Squad have squeezed over, and well, they might regret that. Smith sends one of them packing.
I saw this in a little bit of the test lobby we had going on. I was like, First Squad's now getting in the mix here. This could be very good for either one of these two teams, but obviously T1 and Vitality, they are going to continue to have this battle, and as Disrupt is going to be able to pop up. He dropped Z-Smith, but you got Sage looking on over for you, who will be able to make this trade. Don't worry, friends. This battle is going to go back and forth. Zone's pretty close, so they're not going to be feeling the need to move out just yet. But if any of these teams can really farm some of these kills, they can put themselves in a great position for some of these later zones.
Certainly can. Vitality will do the right thing for now, being on the receiving end of a lot of abuse on that early contest. They will back it off. We take a look. A couple of kill feeds going to show self-kills. Don't worry, ladies and gentlemen, that is entirely intentional. It's to ensure your loadout stays in the match for longer and you can regain in those locations. Heretics, surprise factor, rolling in from APAC. We didn't know what they would look like in this tournament. However, in the boot camp, surprised many, impressed few. It will now be them rolling up at Lumbermill, and it will be against that Cooley roster, the H1 roster here in Paris.
Chow had a lot to say about this team. He's excited to watch them perform here on LAN. He's got his own watch party. I know he's going to be up in the booth yelling, cheering on his boys, but this is a formidable roster you got to take down if you want to gain control of this Lumbermill POI. This team from APAC, they've normally rolled up in the last couple of years, not really having any experience, any practice, and they've kind of been able to run worlds, look very formidable, but they've been able to boot camp this year, and you're starting to see maybe some of that practice coming clutch as Kudley, he tries to shoulder it, but he's just not able to find the kill. Will get dropped alongside his teammate, so now it's just Connell left alive, and those arrows start flying.
Yeah, look at Heretics full sending. They want him the hell out of there. I don't know if you're going to stay alive for much longer. Get straight in over to the research fight, though, and it will be Adrian, Grimy, and Destroy pressing up against Novo, the Italians, who so often rely on these contests to go on for a long time and drain away kills, points to set you up for later on, but right now seemingly suffering. The other squad in the mix, ladies and gentlemen, that's actually going to be Team PBJ, and they will clear out Blade. The Italians struggling early.
Yeah, I mean, you've seen PBJ. They've really made research this home, and they're not even probably worried so much about Virtus.pro trying to get into the mix. They're used to this. They know that there's going to be this third team. VP, they like to land over towards servers. Maybe we sometimes call it mini, and they make a slow rotation in, trying to third party here. So you can see as we kind of slow down just for a moment, PBJ, they're going to look to hold the line. We got to check in what's going on that other side of the map in Main Street.
Yeah, Eclectic, they have rotated recently over towards Bank, getting that up. Over towards both sides to Gen G. Sanks catches one, typically the anchor, so concerning to see him having to step out and deal with a couple of threats. You are also missing another in that engagement, so Italians down to one again. Slow start from them. Badeki, the man who has announced his retirement after this tournament. By God, how I hope he has a great one and reconsiders that decision. So many things yet to say here in the Warzone scene. But it will be CT Gaming on the suffering end of things as Gen G found themselves in Lumber. And off the back of all the engagements earlier, they've actually found a pocket of space here, moving over from the riverboat and could control these two teams trying to rotate back in.
I love this. I like this play. Gen G, they're going to understand this map beautifully. A lot of times kind of suffering playing up from that Main Street side, but I think they make a realization, hey, some of the top teams that we normally have to face that are normally kind of being the friction, the resistance that are normally here, gone. Let's go ahead. Let's take advantage of it. It's the Bradford Biffle from the rooftops. MXR in hand. Cleans up Teeny easily. He's going to keep it singing. Absolutely just cracking plates, damage numbers going up the line.
Yeah, beautiful work there. Len's actually been sent out on his lonesome. Reminder, the roles have changed in that team. Gabe is going to be the anchor, so often the front man, the firepower. He's actually decided he's a far better IGL, and it has made them look pretty good in gold recently. T1, they're pressed out. We spoke about it in the pre-interviews. These guys suddenly have upticked in their form. They're free, they're flowing, and that man right there, Echo, he's no longer sitting in pockets of space. He wants to get up there, fighting alongside his boys, and turn them into a real firepower. They'll just deathball anything in their path. Already made it to church. We'll now have one or two more teams rotating in their direction, one of them being FaZe, who are moving out of Barn, taking a look at this fight.
Yeah, I mean, FaZe, I think if they can manage to kind of play this spacing correctly, they might be able to dismantle T1 because you see Vitality just down there on that lower bridge as well. So you find the nice little bit of timing, you could get some kills on the board. But this is where we're starting to see already some of these teams having to move around the map. We're already missing 2 squads from the lobby here in map number 1. As just the trades continue to happen around the map. Everybody trying to value. How do I get into a power position here? How do I get into a different area of the map that will net me some success?
Certainly all about shifting your pieces around the chessboard. The Italians continue to hold on to back. It will not be in the next zone, so they must figure out their rotation. 3 teams lie between them and safety. One of them being Gen G, who mop up a bit of Heretics presence. Gen G have rotated way out very quickly here. They did not want to stick around for that Lumber Mill fight, refusing to be held. Bill Bodies 4 in the kill feed, and the players just trying to press out, circle forcing everyone in front. Freddy will be cleared up by Stukex, and it will actually be Vitality moving in towards Mansion, where that battle still rages on between the Twisted Minds and Ravens.
Hey man, ain't no party like a 4th party happening down there. It's a couple of different teams look to get active. We can say the same at Cole already. H1 looks like it has been able to regain, but they have to take this fight ahead of them. You're caught sprinting, jumping around. Can you throw the shoulder? Can you find the timing? You have to be careful though. Connell, he gets found out by Teeny, and already this Heretics roster starting to push on up. It's a sandwich coming in on top of H1. Can they survive? You're getting dropped left and right. No, Kudli gets dropped. That is going to be H1 eliminated from the lobby, but the battle doesn't stop here at Cole, continuing to fight. Heretics going up this roster to Killer. He's finding Teeny. Vita, he finds Obs. It's just Zeppa by himself. Can he manage to find the success? He'll at least be able to bring down to Killer. We got one more up in the sky. You'll hang on just by a small little thread.
Zeppa doesn't do incredibly well there. That kill, that not coming through, I think actually gets you the timing to get Teeny back in. Otherwise, Heretics were done. He's likely just going to have to find a pocket of space to settle himself in and just hope that someone runs into him, gives him a couple of guns. Twisted Mind, they're flooding.
Ravens for company. He's been dropped first. Nice little bait there from the Ravens. Blast thinks he has an angle, but he says, nope, we're just going to go ahead, set up this crossfire. He's going to get dropped by Niasen as well. It's just Shifty on that rooftop. He's looking down in, making sure nobody's going to hit that zip. Get a little bit of a surprise on him. We do still have Resurgence enabled, and it's a fire sale, so if you can hit that buy station, you're going to be good, but
mix up, but Ravens so often will just stabilize, slow things down, let the map flip itself out. Let me take a look at the points on the board. Gen G leading, but a whole cluster just in behind. You're going to see some of the squads eliminated include Novo, H1, and First Squad here. South Americans unfortunately struggling early. Virtus Pro, they're trying to get pressed out of research. Do, of course, have pressure from PBJ. Just trying to get shots banged over the top if you are destroyed. MXR tapping away, but J Vela keeps himself alive as his teammate applies power over towards Water Tower and is actually clearing out over there. Not believe, then drops, so Sage stays up. The problem is you deal with this fight if you're VP. The next wave involves basically running into Vitality.
Oh, Adrian jumps on down, thinks he can get a little bit of a mixie in the elevator shaft, and he's going to find some success. Jay Vela, unfortunately, not going to be able to stay alive, but you called it out best, my friend. Vitality, they've moved on over. They want to control this Water Tower side. They want to maybe keep a little bit of an eye on this Mansion fight. They want to keep an eye on these players moving from research. They see this. We've talked about it time and time again this season. Havens Hollow, you want to play it from north to south. Vitality, they are going to know that just like no one else, and they're going to want to go ahead and play that. And you can see on the top of your screen there, folks, we are getting to the last final moments of Resurgence being enabled. So if you're going to take those fights, you got to take them now.
Yeah, everyone's going to slow down right here, assess their positioning, figure out the buy stations are and what the rotation to win condition looks like. Because after this point, you don't have a buy, you lose a teammate, we'll see you in the next lobby. So everybody's just trying to figure out what they hold as dust settles. And to be honest, for everybody, Mansion side, it's very little. For Eclectic, it's absolutely bloody nothing. You're out of here, dealt with by Q8Z, Nothing, and the crew. Everybody over towards the east side actually has pockets of space, and you are also going to have a team smack bang in the middle in CT Gaming. After that, figure it out. But FaZe, they've actually found a route through the south. They're at train cars.
Gen G looks like they are wiped. That's going to leave us 9 teams here in the lobby. That's a 1.2 multiplier for all of our remaining squads. But we talked about it. It is all about 1.4. That is what our teams are going to be shooting for. So as Resurgence gets disabled, everybody's trying to play for that 1.4, that top 5. You're going to see things kind of slow down. As I say that, though, you can see already at Mansion, it's a nice little layer cake of action we have as T1 is getting in a bit of a mix here against the Ravens. And PBJ, they want a piece of this pie as well. Praise in the middle. Good shots. You're able to find one, but the trades are there immediately. Praise dropped. J Vela dropped. It's got to be believed playing around the buy station to get the teammates back on it, but you don't have cash. All you have is crowd loot. You will have to pull a miracle here to try and get yourself back in. Really well because they've managed to avoid the pinch setup there. However, they've got to figure a timing of pushing out because they know Twisted Minds might take the high ground above them or rotate ahead of them. They do not want to be caught trying to move inland. Everyone's going to pay attention now. Top left of your screen, that circle is about to move and tell everybody where they must go, and it will move central. So everyone's got to shift just a little bit over, including the Ravens on your screen. So that path, that passage that they're now going to have to punch through a different team to find, all important. There's about maybe 10% of usable land here in this circle that you got to make happen. On that outside, Virtus Pro, they're taking a battle. They're going to go ahead and get wiped. Clamp here from Fnatic. It's just him and Dizzy playing together, scoop up some of that loot, playing on a little bit of a slow side of the zone here. They have some other players ahead of them. CT Gaming going to be in front, but look at this. Jawad, QAZ nothing, Kruger. They're actually going to play this underneath of the bridge. I don't mind this. You got a little cover. Go ahead. You have some line of sight. And they know that there's going to be some teams pushing over for Mansion.
Yeah, I like this position. Just going to sit, hunker in, let everybody else deal with themselves. Get that top 5, figure it out from there. FaZe Clan playing up nice and close against Vita. This is CT Gaming. Vita comes out on top. That leaves it a 1v3. Clamp done his very best against Netos, but it's all this rotation out. Wow. Twisted and Ravens have to figure the timing. No one wants to jump first. That puts you in front of the other. You jump last to get held. Great shots by Shifty to find the opening onto Z-Smith. So many storylines in that little battle, but he's still going to stay up. And the zone drags again, but it's the northern side. So it's all about winning this fight and getting ahead of the curve, and that should give you win condition.
Shifty is thanking whoever constructed this mansion for this little bit of chimney here. He loves having some cover, but down below, the battle will continue to rage. It's the Stallions, it's the Ravens. Bird on horse action, and they are taken on out. Puts us into 4 teams remaining. 1.4 secured. It's now who can wipe the remaining squads, get that 1.6.
The 2 members of Twisted Minds up top, 3 of Ravens, and oh my lord, you are suddenly pulling teams apart. If you are Sage, CT Gaming thought they had a great rotation out. Sage is absolutely dealt with them. Ullman then finds the killer as well. CT are out of here. This fight on our screens right now. Twisted, Ravens, what have you got to set on that one?
Sage will eventually go down in the cast. It's now just these final 2 teams. It's the 2 teams that landed here at the mansion. How are they going to end map 1? From the gas, it's Blast. He fights and won, but look at the kills go each other's way. You're not able to make it happen, and it's just going to be Ravens at the end. It basically kind of is a little bit of a coin flip, I feel like, at the end there. Who is finding the timing? Who's finding the Ravens Esports take map number 1.
Yeah, Wild Zone in the end. It's very rare we get to see one that still includes a slither of mansions so the team can hang in there for so long, but then must play out afterwards. It's usually in or out kind of situation. But for both Ravens and Twisted, it was figuring out who would jump the rope first. And in the end, they end up just squabbling over that tiny corner that exists inside of the circle. But Ravens come out on top. We've talked about them, built them largely into this tournament. They've mostly won that mansion contest recently, and that so often has been the crux of the Twisted Minds game plan here on Haven's Hollow. And the thing is, for a lot of the teams looking around this stage right now, Havens isn't even the Ravens' best map. Wait till they get to Rebirth. That's where they really heat up. They're a CQC team. They will have to get up in the faces of their opponents, but it's that discipline, that decision-making they've really grown into through this year. Players like Nielsen and King Jock in particular have come alive and deliver early here in Paris.
Got to talk about the Stallions as well. You know, a team that we kind of said, hey, if they get hot, it's now land. They could be a thorn in the side in some of these mainstay rosters. A lot of talk on this kid, QAZ Nothing, right? Has come on in from the region. We casted an online tournament where they were playing, and we were like, okay, let's see what you got. This guy is absolutely world starring kids on 180 ping. But guess what? It's land, ladies and gentlemen. It's a little bit different. All it takes is that first gunfight for you to maybe get that confidence underneath you. And we saw Stallions be one of those few remaining teams in that fight against Ravens down below. But let's take a look at some of the highlight moments coming on in from this first map because it was just electric all the way through. You can see some of these final battles that we saw going on, and I feel like this just kind of comes down to Twisted Minds just hang out a little bit too long in that gas.
Yeah, it does. You see that moment from Blastodes. He's diving, trying to get desperately inside the gas. Doesn't have time to pull the chute. May have taken a little bit of damage and shoots breaks his legs, but he just doesn't really have a choice. He's got to go, otherwise he's going to bleed out anyway. And obviously King Chalk set up there on the cross. So great stuff from them. Lovely decision from him to push out from under the awning more towards that because that gives him the cross. So great stuff from him. Great stuff, of course, from Ravens, but it's just map one.
Just map one. Well, let's keep it moving, ladies and gentlemen, while we get map number 2 set up for you.
Is in our DNA. Whenever we let it out, it becomes our superpower. Now imagine an entire city being built to supercharge it. Kadir City, powered by Play.
It's a new era for Warzone. Legends have moved on.
Biffle will retire after this event. The dominant Falcons roster that won everything in 2024 is no more.
Defending champions have splintered.
Twisted Minds only has one player from EWC 25 left on the roster.
But the action is better than ever.
It's a quick step on us. Oh my God! It's gonna get Arnie self-revives. It's not over. 1v1. The kid can do it.
Teams have fought through 2 stacked LAN events to make it here.
Look at Blade from behind. You put Kenji into the casket. Can he get that one as well? Get straight out on the backside. Oh no, misses it. He's a Blade. She had a dream. Blade, you'll miss it. The Falcons are here.
Rivalries have become even more intense.
Team Falcons, close it out. We thought Shifty was getting in Soka's mind. And based off what I'm seeing, I don't think so.
Former team members, they want revenge.
I've been disrespected a lot this year. It's like I just got thrown back to the bottom of the totem pole again. You know, 3rd at 2024 EWC, 1st at 25. You know, hopefully go back-to-back this year and remind people who I am.
And a new generation is here to prove themselves. This is the Warzone Resurgence Series Championship.
What a map that was. Mods and Goach here on the stage. Welcome, sir. And what a finish. It was a good one.
Yeah, it's so wild to see that we started in Mansion with 2 teams that have been fighting for literally the entire year and then ended there in map 1 of Group A at the very beginning of EWC. So cool.
You can hear the boys so excited with every single circle closer and closer and closer to Mansion. But we're talking about Mansion, the Lords of the Manor. For now, at least, the Ravens.
Yeah, you know what's really funny is that at the very beginning, Twisted Minds has been this team that's been unbeatable. They've been top fraggers, they've been everything. But for a while now, Ravens have been winning that, and they won again. But this is the first time I've seen both of those teams at the end of the game where they started both getting a ton of points. Like, that's still a win for Twisted Minds fans, okay? I want to make that very clear, but Ravens are winning currently, so I know the fans here at home are having a blast.
It's a marathon, not a race. And while we get ready for map number 2, anything you saw in the first that was surprising or maybe disappointing in terms of maybe some top contenders?
Yeah, it's been fun to watch like drop spots throughout the year, and H1 is a very fun kind of new team, if you will. Kudley's been getting a lot of hype from Cho himself. Big shout out to Cho. H1 for a reason. They decided to drop down at Lumber, feeling like they've got an advantage there. They get a couple scrappy kills, but nothing really to write home about yet. Still a team we have to watch out for, though.
Excited to see how many of our rookies in this competition do. I mean, again, a first time for many, many here on the stage, EWC 26. And I think about rookies, I think the pressure. I think the opportunity to change your life over a course of a weekend. I think of the massive amounts, of fans here in the venue. Thank you all for joining us.
Hey,
they're so locked in on the players, dude.
No, they're having a good time. The crowd has been so loud. It's been so good to hear. But I mean, it's an incredible thing. When you think of that pressure, you think of just to throw for now.
It's always fun to talk about what we call in Warzone space the land buff, right? We do that in all of Call of Duty. The land buff is so real, and some of these teams really thrive under pressure. Some of the teams have still a lot to prove. I think T1's a great example of a team that's got some fresh blood, who can shoot like crazy online, and on land, still a little bit more to prove. So I'm really pumped to see more from them as well.
Yeah, lots more to still play. Highlights there on your screen, and a fantastic way to start things off there. But I mean, I've no idea really what to expect as far as some of our lower teams. Some of them will be the regions that don't necessarily get as much love. We talk about those land jets. We talk about the buff you can get. Are there any squads in the lower end that you're more excited about?
I don't know. It's a good question. I think some of our APAC teams is some of those teams I really want to see. We've had folks like Limax, like Teeny, like Obs that have been around Zeppa, that have been around the block for a long time. Even in Call of Duty too, like normal multi. And so to see them back on stage when they've missed a year is really cool to see. I want to see more from the Aussies.
Nice bit of leadership there. Zeppa's been around for nearly as long as I have in this scene, which is crazy to say. But again, a little bit of leadership, a little bit of encouragement for those younger players. Many rookies. Again, I was looking at T1, talking to Spam and just seeing how confident and capable they are. What a first massive tournament for players like that.
It's T1's such a fun team to talk about because at the beginning of the year, they were the team to beat. They were the online Reapers. They were crushing the competition. But when we started combining global, them NA, Americas, all the way over to EU, things got a little bit more difficult when they're being contested off drop. Vitality competing right now. They're landing at the same spot. They've been battling over that spot for the entirety of this series as well. So it's still a lot to prove from both of those two teams.
Hate to do it to you, man, but one of those first map, second map, do you think any contestant point changes?
As we go back to Haven's Hollow, I think everybody's going to stick to their guns. It's group stages. You basically need to be top 5 in order to make it forward. And you just need to not be bottom 3 after 12 drops. Teams that are confident are going to stick their spots.
Yeah, stick to what you know, play your safe game. And then when it gets more, serious times, maybe survival in a few days, that's where things change up. But hey, any sort of strategy adjustments that you would like fans at home to look out for, or little things that might be considered a big win condition?
Big win condition, you got to get kills, man. Listen, every time we come to land, we talk about this. You have to go for the kills. You have to swing for the fences. Teams like to play very safe on land, and some of the teams that already play defensive are really going to have to get aggressive to find any kill because everybody's sticking in their spots until that resurgence timer closes. That means there's way less kills on the map. Way less points, room for error, tiny.
Exciting stuff. Well, no one's told me what I can and can't do, so sir, come with us. Let's go for a little walk on this beautiful stage. Let's have a little look-see, shall we, as to what our players are looking like, because I want to be a bit of an armchair psychologist right now. I want to start reading body language. Who's feeling the pressure? Who's looking confident?
I say Twisted Minds is feeling some pressure. You see those guys over there?
Yeah, let's go look at those guys over there. But yeah, they are, again, confident coming into this one.
Well, Miles, you got to talk about Twisted Minds. We did it at the top of the show. I mean, these guys are world-class talents, right? They have years of experience under their belt. Ullman has been playing this game since the very beginning, day one, as one of the top players, if not the top player still in the competition. But this is a totally different Twisted Minds roster than last year. So if you watched EWC last year, watch out for Ullman. Yeah, he's the guy returning. The other two guys, they haven't proven themselves here at EWC, not in Resurgence, at least not for a little while. So still a lot to prove from a guy like Blast, who gets pulled on mid-season.
Mid-season changes. I mean, sometimes in Call of Duty, that honeymoon phase, we talk about it so much in multiplayer, you just get a little bit extra. You kind of have that clarity of mind. You get a little bit more extra spice to play with. We'll see, though, if it does work out for them for the rest of the tournament. But for now, it is time to go back to the casters for drop number 2.
Thank you so much, Miles the Rost and Mr. Grandmaster Goj. Always fun hearing from both of you of what we have to talk about. But as you can see here, as we get ready to hop on in to drop number 2, it's going to be a great time, my friend, because obviously we see some hot teams come out. They're swinging. They're feeling good. Raven, Twisted Minds, Gen G, Stallions, all putting up respectable points. But as we get ready to hop into game number 2, I'm looking at some of those teams like T1, like EK, who make some early exits, put up single digits. Not exactly the map they want to have.
No, not at all. I mean, you know that you do have 11 more drops, so you don't need to panic just yet. I think Goji's point about teams that are confident in their game plan will be fine throughout this group stage, but you can't have too many more of those. I do look, unfortunately, towards squads like H1 and First Squad that will have come into this understanding they're underdogs anyway. You have that first bad map. You now know you have a mountain to climb. It's whether you have the capabilities to do exactly that as we look towards our second drop for Havens Hollow.
Well, one last opportunity for today to get those points here on Havens Hollow until we get ready to shift gears and move on our second map set that we have. You can see all these players. If you had a great map number 1, you're feeling confident. If you had a bad map number 1, you got to shake it off. You got to lock in with the boys and figure out what can we do to make sure that we are not going to be on the chopping block when it comes to the end of day number 2. Let's get ready to fly on into it because, man, I think if map number 1 brought us anything, map number 2 is about to continue to deliver the hype.
Well, teams typically grow into these tournaments. Your first map, sure, a couple of squads might have found the ping, the footing, the environment to be a little bit overwhelming. Those things will start to dissipate. It's all about the squads that can deal with the pressure here at the Esports World Cup. And our second drop for Havens Hollow, our players are in the skies on their way down to ground. It's back to Old Faithful for Nielsen and King Jorg as that fight at Mansion rages on.
And already, you can see it looks like Ravens are going to open this one up. They find Blast. Shifty gets dropped as well. It's just going to be Almond, but for the Ravens, they now have a little bit of an additional sort of thorn in their side as well. But Almond on that backside, he gets found out by Zeppa. This is Heretics trying to start to get a little bit active in this Mansion fight. And very early on here in map number 2, Twisted Minds find themselves in a bit of a blender.
Well, also, Virtus Pro have landed center pond, as they so often do when there's all jag in this direction. What Destroy's done there is just push up towards the backside of Mansion. Anyone trying to escape, I'm just going to mop them up. What that causes for Ravens in particular is they can't get out. There's nowhere for them to really try and gain space, get themselves some loot, or get themselves some money to build their way into this map. So a tough start for a lot of those sides.
And maybe getting active at Train in game number 1 wasn't successful here. So now they find themselves in a little bit of a sandwich here at Main Street. Of course, if Stallion's right above you, they're going to try and make their way on over, take top bank. Eclectic will be on the nearby, but down here at Train, I'm looking, and T1, Spam and Disrupt, they're still here. I am sensing a distinct lack of vitality. I think maybe you lost this contest here on map number 2, so a much better start to this game from the boys from the UK.
Yeah, it certainly feels that way. In fact, Talta will be recovering towards the south side of the map. For first squad, it's Bank, typically where Eclectic are located. And Axidas and Curious will lay waste to key bays. Off in the front man, though, it's Zangs that you really want to unearth. That's the anchor that you're trying to shift out of the map, and that will force Eclectic into a bit of a panic station situation. But you're going to slow it down if you are first squad. Just peer on over and figure out the lay of the land around you, because if you take a look at that mini-map top left, Main Street's really bloody busy, guys.
Yeah, this Northwest Zone poll has just had so many people. Nobody's in Lumber Mill right now, for the record. Nobody wants to be there. Barely anybody's in Coal Depot. Everybody is playing on this Main Street side. So with that, you have to be on your P's and Q's if you want to try and stay alive. Zanks down below thinks he can get maybe a little bit of an opening onto this first squad team, but trade is there. Self-revive will come through, and you're A-OK.
Well, that'll be Eclectic out of it. Straight ahead. First team down with first squad. But actually, they claim something. And what a story that is. Eclectic have built their ways to one of the best teams in recent scrims and struggling at the early stages here in Paris. Obviously, long ways to go. Nothing to be too concerned about, but first squad, they get out the bad map 1, looking a little bit better here to start 2. Let's take a look at Coodley. They're at Bond. They'll square off against FaZe. It's back and forth. It's not kind of used to by now. Great work by the Irishman. And now team try and rotate and trade this out, but you're 3v2 up in the fight.
Yeah, Season 5 came out, VST into the meta, and this, baby, see a nice little fadeaway there. Dizzy finding himself at the end of it, but the fun doesn't stop already. Mati gets a sense he's getting surrounded here. Nade will go down. You try and stop the push. Coodley, he's going to back on up. You swing with the teammate. You find one more. Mati gets dropped. It's one last player from FaZe that's kind of lurking around here, but all 3 members of H1 still up at this barn area. They're holding a lot of space, and I think if they can sort of clear out FaZe here, they might be able to put their head on a swivel, look Mansion, look down at Main Street, and just kind of pick up players as they start to cross.
No, for sure. If you can get that advanced UAV into the air right now, you're going to be able to hold out a lot of teams, pick up a lot of points, and set yourself up for a great map too. first squad, we've just talked about the work they've done, finding Eclectic. You have got yourselves plenty of pressure. This is Gen G. Squad rotated in from Poe early. They know they've played a lot. They've been playing around Main Street the entire year. Aiden, though, not expecting the drop out. Actually, that's great work from him initially, but Gabe's there on the instant trade. Lovely positioning from the fragger turn anchor. Rico's trying to get involved. That's over aggressive. Lennon plays cleanup. So first squad set back in, off into the waters, and Gen G will mop up a lot here at Main Street. Great work. Not risking a third party just yet. Buy stations nearby can set themselves up for the next phase of play.
That play is from Gen G. You set up the crossfires. You're doing A-OK. Ballistic. Look. See as they are going to hold on to Mansion. Blast does get dropped. I know you see squad wipe on your screen there, but you got one last player up in the sky, so don't worry, Twisted Mind fans. They are not out yet, but this map does not look like it's going too great for them, if I'm going to be honest. As we kind of grow to a little bit of a crawl here. Zone 2 continues to end, and already just players trying to fight for space.
Time will die. They'll be the second team out of this lobby. Lose that initial contest up onto H1. And never recovered from there. CT Gaming in this fight on the rooftops against Heretics. Vita just trying to buy a little bit of space to keep himself alive and allow that resurgence to tick through. Get his boys back in the mix. Ravens struggling. Great work from King Chog. Finds Almond, the second turn, shots on, but there is going to be a heady available for Blast. King Chog will get his boys back in. It's not done just yet. Heretics are still squeezing up behind this, but you've at least got Nielsen and he's back into the fray.
I mean, if Nielsen can find a gun, we've seen him do miracles with the last pistol in hand. He gets the armor crack. I almost thought he was able to bring down Zeppa. Great little moment there for the Heretics to just basically be able to hear that fight going on. It's a swing. You're watching this battle come on between Ravens and some of those members of T1. And you get that kill, you're going to be able to find one more. So good job from Heretics just to kind of hold the line. On the other side, though, Aiden, he will get found out by Axidos as this first squad Gen G battle kind of continues to rage here at Main Street. Have Gabe Kuhn from above looking out over you. You need to have some semblance of setup here if you are Gen G, because they are just on the outside of zone. They still need to gain a little bit of position.
Yeah, great work here at Gen G in the gunfight. But if you look at the light pink on your minimap, that's actually Stallions. They're trying to play holdout. So all these teams are fighting right now. They're likely going to have to get past them at some point, and in bits and pieces for most of these squads right now. So a tough situation, and the gas is just going to creep everybody forward into the back we go. Your backyard, basically, if you are Gen G for much of this year, but you're under pressure, do well to keep all three on your feet.
The fact that Aiden gets in the window there is huge, and Gabe, he flies on out from that little bit of a scaffolding. Will drop down Q8Z, nothing, and get the confirm. So Gen G, you get the players, you're grouped on up, you're able to find one from this Stallions roster, but you can see on your minimap there, Andy's he's reacting for a reason, because we are just continuously ripping these teams to the left side of the map.
Shifty taps away behind the DC. And we'll get the drop, and that's Heretics wiped. They're done. So great amount of points, I think, initially, but fall far earlier than you would have liked. You're still on the 1x multiplier. A bit of a do-si-do between Fede and Tequila. Squad 12 up here as well, and down you go. Vita tries to get himself back to ground. So many squads now looking for a safety pocket of land, but with 12 teams in the mix, 32 players up, and such little land mass, everybody being forced into fights that they really would rather not take. Blastity's just about gets himself into some semblance of cover, and Shifty and Orman will try and get their boots to ground to support the rotation out, but it's all hard work from here.
Mansion, a great POI until you got to move out of it. Everybody just putting their sights over towards this area. You see, just as you kind of hop up on the wall, you're getting laser beamed. So for the time being, Twisted Minds, they know they have to clear out this bottom side. Shifty, it's a great easy kill onto Vortex. Use some of those nades, follow it on up, and with those kills and a couple more coming in on the back, it looks like that might be Novo making another early exit. Still, two teams need to drop to get into that 1.2. But Twisted Minds, they still have to continue to fight their way out of Mansion. On the other side of the map, you can see Gen G, they have to continue moving, but they got PBJ in their way. Believe it's a shoulder throw on the stairs. Your break, but from behind, look who's starting to get active. It's Geeke. They want a piece of this fight. Jay Bella slides on down. He's going to find the end of the gun from Aiden. Can you get this res in time? Can you protect it? Aiden, he's looking on over. It's coming on through. You know that field medic is coming. sharp right now. Getting the faster revive. Gen G get their feet back underneath them though. However, DK, they're continuing to find these pockets of timing. Plays, jumps on in. You're going to be able to find the end of the gun because Vitality, they're looking to hold this entire fight.
Yeah, Vitality are just holding everybody. The problem that they now face is H1 are rotating over from Barnes.
Oh
I don't know if you at the chapel and how the dominoes shall fall. That's going to give Gen G the moment, the window to escape out. They shall shift. Almond is somehow still alive. He's though deep gas, and he's just going to try and keep himself up with the stims. Nerfed, of course, so he's got to get moving. Grime is going to go high, just about stays up, and that should be the death sentence for Almond.
Yeah, he does this great job. You can see Blast was still alive. He's also out in the gas too, so Grimy, he's going to have an idea that maybe there's an additional Twisted Minds player out here, and he's in a solid little spot, can just continue play that top gazebo. Stim will come on in. It's just enough to make sure that you don't get taken out by the gas. But for Twisted Minds, you find a little bit of success here, but it just feels like every time we tune on in, they are always on the back foot. And T1, we take a look at Train. Well, they're feeling good because Disrupt's on 9.
Yeah, there's about 5 or 6 bodies out in these waters, and T1 do want all of these kills. This is great for them. At some point, though, they have to turn their attention to holding Train out and stopping all the teams rotating for them. So it's now about pivoting. It's on what is most important and prioritizing gunfights. But Disrupt, he's banging away. He's on double digits, and we're only inside the top 10, so many more points and kills yet on the board.
Dude, they just got to keep their head on a swivel, and it is a feeding fish frenzy for them. Fede, he'll get dropped at the hands of StuKX on that other side, and Disrupt has got an idea that that's what's going on here. 4,000 damage for the young man, and there's still 9 teams in this lobby. Clear out one side, focus on the other. VP pushing in from this pond area. An angle that they are not expecting of. Just kind of hold the line for the time being.
Well, they've held this northern side of the circle for a long time. They initially stopped players rotating out of Mansion freely, and that's given them a pocket of space. Now back to your feet, just up as a 3. Destroy has 5. Adrian on nothing. Not a surprise, really, as he's thus far, but if we're pushing double digits at this point and you're looking towards that 1.4, not a bad place to be. H1, they'll be finished off. Net odds, CT, doing far better in the early stage than we would have expected, but Adrian probably going to cut that to an end here. Circle's going to pull everybody further down towards Trains. A little bit of water to play with. And again, just further south here, T1, that's your big threat if you are this VP side.
I mean, Echo, he calls in a PA, looks like on the other side. He's found 2 members of Vitality as well. And just already, VP, they're just going to look to kind of hold this. Not really much going on there, but I'd love to take a look at T1 because they have so many squads ahead of them that are trying to rotate into zone. Gen G being one of them, DK being another, and you still have 1 member of Vitality on the edge.
Yeah, and Disrupt is just picking everything apart. DK's finished. Right now, for VP, they're just trying to figure out what their most important threat is. They're aware that VP are a full team on the other side. That drop now should push Fam and Echo over towards the buy station, where there is 1 remaining player for Vitality. They got to get there quickly because gas is currently falling over it. What you don't want to do is hand all the space over to VP, who are here and are laying claim to all the land that Lennon and Gabe could possess.
The patience from VP to just hold this low ground is so critical. You can see already, because they were just sticking down here, they already see that you have Gen G moving on over. But look at this. While all of this fighting is happening, Skullface, he's the last player of Vitality alive, and he's actually going to get the zone pull. If he has the cash, he might be able to tuck himself. Should get the teammates back on in, but it's a quick wrap from Virtus Pro. Hold the high ground. Take down the rest of these teams. It's a 1.4 multiplier for everybody. You got to grab that 1.6, and Lennon, he's actually going to find the down on Spam.
Yes, Spam does have himself. Against himself back to Spam.
Oh my God!
Goes huge in the back line. Finds a window, slips out through the lower panels, and gets himself the kills. 1v1, v3, VP, hold it all in their hands.
Skullface. He's named Logan for a reason. The claws are out. Call him the Wolverine. A nice little 2-piece. Huge points on the board for them. But like you said, it might have been a heroic play, but it's Spam Gola. It's Skullface. The 2 lone soldiers. If they can somehow manage to work together to cut down these players of VP, this would be huge. The problem here, Enigma, VP is in such a good spot. But Adrian, he gets a little bit active. He flies forward. However, he will find Skullface. That is wiped. Final 2 teams here. It's a 3v1. You just got to find Spam. Spam's going to be able to find Adrian. 2v1. Shots coming on through. It's Destroy from that backside. It's a barrel stuff with the CBRS. You drop him. Virtus Pro Pro, they'll take game number 2, and you can see the look on Destroy. He's happy. He's a little expectant on that one.
Yeah, we talked so much about this Virtus Pro team in the build-up to this tournament. Fantastic stage 1, lit up the scene in Birmingham, struggled massively through stage 2, and a very public falling out between them. But they come here to Paris having made up. They're a unit again, understanding the roles that they're going to play in, and their game plan there was perfection. Typically a server landing side, they alternate over to a pawn drop when the circle goes that way, and they get aggressive towards Mansion. That man on your screen right there holds the players out, ensures that there's no pressure on them. They can just loot up pawns, set themselves up for the late stages, and it's slow and systematic moving with the gas from there. And once they took high ground, you never felt like they were going to let that one go.
It's kind of that classic. That's what you love to see. You know, you're holding this low ground, but watch this. I mean, we got to talk about this again. Skull just lining up Lennon and Gabe, and he tries to put down this DC. We see him do this time and time again, but it's just, you know, Skullface is a great player. It's unfortunate you can't find the last 2 members of Virtus Pro there, but just some fantastic movement. They realize what they need to do. It's all about just not scamming in that moment. And you know, the D is he's in the comms. He's saying, probably yelling exactly that. Don't scam, play as a team. Let's push this player together.
Well, this is somewhere where they've improved so much, because if anyone who's been watching throughout this season remembers back towards stage 1, even before stage 1, when we were in the essential preseason, there was a lot of talks about how some of their players would scam, fly forward and get involved in fights they just didn't need to do. But that shows the maturity and how this team looks so much better here in Paris.
Looking very, very good. That's our last map of Haven's Hollow that we have, ladies and gentlemen. So we got to get ready to head on into map number 3. Players getting in the lobby. We're going to be right back here in a little bit.
This ain't no regular thing. Came for the ring, you know what I mean. You see my name in the lights, better get right, champion.
Everyone is playing, you're not yet. EWC Play is your all-in fantasy, pick'em, and quests for a grand total of $300,000 in prize pool. Build your dream fantasy team in 5 different games and track your score with live results tables. Predict the winner of every game, every group stage, and every tournament. Complete daily and weekly challenges to earn boosters that help you climb the global leaderboard. Got what it takes? Join EWC.
What's up, everybody? I got one of the sickest players and one of the most twisted minds in the game, Shifty, with me. I mean, my guy, you've been in Paris for a while. Do you feel like you're acclimated to the environment? You ready to get on this main stage? You feeling like a local yet?
Oh, yeah. I mean, I don't even look at the Eiffel Tower when I walk by it anymore. But, yeah, we've been in for a while. We had a really good boot camp. I think those are very essential to big lands like this. So, yeah, we've been in for a while. We feel good. Time zone's no issue for us. We're just ready to play.
I mean, you guys look ready to play, okay? I walked over there to you on the main stage. You and the whole squad up here singing 8 Mile, okay? Getting locked in. So that must mean the vibes are high.
Yeah, nah, I mean, I think our team is just full of vibes. I think that's why we love LAN, like, compared to, like, the online. We're all really good friends. So, you know, we've had a great time this week and a half that we've been here just vibing. And, yeah, we're just running through the 8 Mile, you know, the little rap battle with each other, just messing around. But, yeah, we're all good friends. We're having a good time.
Hey, y'all having a good time, but as we know, this is a serious weekend, okay? It's big money on the table. It's a lot of pride out there. It's a lot of just earning respect from the community. I mean, what do you plan on bringing to the table, to the squad, to the lobby, for the Twisted Mind fans out there in your gameplay?
I'm just trying to bring experience. You know, I mean, I've played this game for about 6 years now, so I'm Betty. You know what I mean? That's what they call me. You know, I've been in these situations a lot. I right now hold the most world championship wins. So I've been here. I've done it. I know Alman has won. Rasim's looking for his first. So just kind of bringing that, you know, that calmness to the team and just that readiness of like, yo, we've done the prep. We know we should be here. Who cares about last month? You know, we had, you know, a little iffy period of time, but like we're here, we're ready, and just be locked in the moment and just play our game.
Hey, man, you are absolutely locked. I can see the aura around you right now. You are cool, calm, and collected. Hell, you got me even more cool, calm, and collected right now. Best luck to you, brother.
And of course, match 2 was nothing but absolute chaos, where we had Virtus Pro holding that northern side of Mansion, and they were playing the long game. a couple of kills in the chaos that was unfolding in Mansion. But look, they played it good. They played it till the end, and Virtus Pro did take it out. But look, let's have a look at like Vitality. Obviously, they came out kicking and swinging as well, Shift, and this is something that they needed to do, especially coming out of match one.
I think you don't see that are following through EWC. Get wherever you spawn in at, the final circle ends on you, you're probably going to be fine to finish in the top 5. The biggest key has been who's able to rotate better, who's able to find those kills as the zone starts to force you away from your drop location. So you get a couple of teams that are blessed, but I think most importantly are teams that just finished 1 and 2. Both just missed out on the top 5. So again, just kind of reiterating that point that if you get a drop spot that it ends on you, you better be finishing high.
And didn't I hear you in the pre-show say something about Ravens might not make that contest? And I look, against Twisted Minds, I don't know, in match number 2, Heretics actually joined the party there. And I mean, Ravens were able to hold off 2 of these big teams.
Yeah, and that's just a big shout, I think, to Heretics as well, to not be afraid to jump into the mix against some of our top dogs that are out there. And look, Lacey, you may not know me all that well. I'm all about finding spicy takes. So if it is one of those situations I did look like an idiot, it's going to be like my airball from earlier today. But for Ravens, it is one of those things that, yes, their kill participation is high. You get a first round win that's huge towards being able to kind of quell some of the questions surrounding can they close a map. Now it's going to be down to how do they handle things like rotation, because that's going to be the big key, especially as we change what map we have.
And I'm going to be here to always call you out on your hot takes.
Thank you.
Well,
I'm going to need that.
I will always hold you accountable. Now, who are we going to hold accountable? Of course, we're going to get into match number 3. Enigma, Dandro, let's take it away.
Hey, thank you so much, Lace and Shift. They were right. We are getting ready to head to a new map, my friend.
We are.
Bidding adieu to Haven's here in Group A as we get ready to move on everybody's favorite Resurgence map. I say that tongue-in-cheekly. Rebirth Island. We've been here before. We've been here for years. We know what to expect on this map. But for maybe the uninitiated at home, how do you expect maybe this first map here on Rebirth Island to play out?
Well, I think there's 2 stories in terms of the leaderboard. Ravens are one of our best Rebirth teams, and they have been for some time. They are sitting right towards the top, so expect that gap to potentially grow as we go on through these next 2 maps. For a team towards the bottom end of proceedings right now, Eclectic, disappointing in our first 2 maps. They're really good here, the 3rd best team that we have in the entire 32 at the tournament when it comes to Rebirth Island, so this is where they have to get their afternoon going. But in terms of drops, the contest, look to the control center. FaZe Clan. Goat Clamp has been holding that thing down for years. That guy don't leave those bricks and mortar. But VP and Novo, they'll contest over the boat nearby and then try and lay siege to control centers. 3 teams jostling over there. Off towards the northeastern side, T1 expected to be contested by Stallions in Bio, and it's between them, Gen G, and Heretics to try and claim that corner, then move on down the map.
Hey, a lot of battling is going to happen here on Rebirth Island, but a team that obviously they feel pretty good here on Rebirth, Twisted Minds. Okay, they looked pretty solid there through those first 2 games. Currently sitting in 7th overall from Haven's Hollow. Kind of maybe getting the shakes out a little bit. Game number 2 didn't go maybe exactly how they wanted to, but a chance here on Rebirth Island to reset the mental, reset the opportunity, get those points on the board. So let's get ready. Let's hop on in here to, ladies and gentlemen, to map number 3 on Rebirth. Look at what's happening here as VP going to play down towards that boat side as Grimy starting to lurk his way up in this contest here. But guess what? You're not the only player here. You've been able, you fire, you find Dizzy. But look at that Novo. They also are going to actually control that main center building.
Yeah, Grimy basically sent in there as a bit of a Trojan horse. He won't find a route through. Destroyed Agent, just set themselves up over at the boat. But that zone, by the way, pulling off towards the northwestern side, to all the teams I just talked about, your T1s, your Gen Gs, them fighting over your chemicals and bioweapons, very important for the later stage of this map. Stronghold, you got to fight here. Vitality have changed things up. Usually land living, they've decided they want a piece of PBJ, and Smitty's getting active.
I like this. We've seen them, like you said, playing out of living. They move away from that control center fight. So to see them make this realization of just given where the zone is going, we need to clear out PBJ. It's 2 members of Vitality who are going to maybe trying to start to float down here, get a little bit mixy, see if you can wipe them early, clear out your backside. You will get sniffed out, though, on this turbine area. This is going to be a hotbed of activity as well. Welcome back to the island, ladies and gentlemen, because water pistols are out. They are singing, and there's none other than CT Gaming who love to make that happen. Hobbs trying to throw some shoulders, and, well, the timing does not go your way.
Certainly doesn't. By the way, an important fight that went on off screen. Novo have completely taken control center very early here. Shifted FaZe Clan the hell out, and that now gives them control over the buy stations. Everything that Virtus.pro were fighting for at the boat doesn't really matter anymore. They have to push forward. Look on over towards the Ravens. They'll land HQ. King Chalk's on the roof of prison, and he's looking to just keep an eye on Twisted Minds, who like to land factory and start to squeeze up on them.
Yeah, Blast, he's already started making his way over to Grandma's. So your two members, Shifty, Almond, down there at that factory side. And King Chalk, he sees these smokes go out. He's like, somebody's got to be around here somewhere. Maybe just waiting for somebody to scam a little bit. But Vitality's starting to move on up here as well. Looking to find a bit of a timing. Blast, he's caught flat-footed. He's Nielsen. They'll line on up, and they've been able to take him down. And look at this. Immediately, the eyes go down towards that factory side. And it looks like the loadout is going to try and get a... Are you ready for exactly this? Shifty just plays the stairs, pops on up, finds Heats, and you're going to deny that loadout just for a quick little moment.
Yeah, got to be careful here. Over at this, Keybase fancied a little bit. Zhang's on the rooftop. Never mind, they've overstrayed. They'll be sent packing for now. Both Almond and Stukex actually shoot Keybase, so we'll see it in a little bit. But let's take a look at this H1 team then. They've moved from their harbor landing into Chem. Not only that, they completely lay waste to Gen G, who had given Chem for free, a really important part of the map for what will come for later circles. So all of a sudden, H1 go from a really dubious landing spot we've talked about somewhere no one should be all year to into one of the best spots potentially for map 2. And a great initial from Kudley on Lennon to continue to lock down that space.
Yeah, you can see you got a member of Gen G just flying in from the sky. I think maybe the idea there was Lennon can at least find one and to get the other player to fly on in and maybe help out, but just not going to be the case. They're getting into the mix now. Continuing just to weave yourself in around this boat because you can see already it's been some of this first squad team that's looking to get active. Adrian does not let you swim away that easily. They'll drop you in the water, clean up the kill. Virtus.pro, you're still in zone. They got control of this boat. They don't need to really move right now.
No, they're fine for now, but this next circle will likely tell them they've got to shift it up the coast a bit, and it certainly does. So Adrian taking damage, concerning signs. And he and Destroy will have to navigate a path up this rocky mass that exists in front of them. Turbine, CT Gaming, T1. The battle goes on. T1, Disrupt will drop to Killer. The thing is as well, Disrupt's basically got a free life. You've gained so much space. Echo and Spam have basically the entire northwestern corner to themselves. So Disrupt is just, okay, don't worry about it. I'll go off, find a couple of kills. If I get dropped, I'll come back in for my loadout. Where my boys currently sit, a great plan from them so far. Can they continue to execute?
Hey, I know we're not in Haven's Hollow anymore, but it looks like the Ravens and Twisted Minds continuing to battle it out here at the factory side. Blast, he's going to be able to find one. Slides on out on Nielsen, but Nielsen will put you on down. And it looks like there's no opportunity for any of the other Twisted Minds players to play a bit of a trade. You see one flying in from above. Shifty's playing down below. So for Ravens, they're going to control this rooftop as much as they can and actually back on over towards headquarters where Almond has landed to fight Heat. It's a little bit of an anchor on anchor action here. A huge fight for either of these rosters.
Yeah, Almond does incredibly well to stay alive in the moment because if you are the Ravens, you really want to press Shifty in numbers. However, because Almond's gone and harassed Heat, you have to drop back and clear out, protect your anchor, and this is why King Chalk now is moving over as well. Almond's just staying alive, just being a thorn in the side. Let the timer tick through, let my boys back in. One of those things doesn't exist on a scoreboard, but it's great leadership in a very important moment.
Semtex goes up. Unfortunately, Almond, he's not there. He has an inkling. Somebody's going to go for that ladder. He does great to find one. Just the timing not going your way just enough. Heat will slide on out, clears out Almond. So you'll settle the time here, but those shots are already starting to attract some of the members of PBJ. You can see they're starting to look on over, and they might try and hold the line here.
FaZe Clan just trying to find which way they should take the fight. Novo got Blade up. He's hidden inside. Marty runs into far too much traffic. Blade recognizes the moment of third party. Dizzy now understands that the Italian's beneath him. He's by his lonesome. And it will, of course, be VP just taking a sniff at this. Can we third party? Do we need to spend a lot of time here? He could get some clean exit kills, shut these boys off astray. And Dizzy, he just has to not waste any time with the timer and immediately buys his boy back in.
Yeah, I like that play. You know, you could wait. You could try and just get the timers on down. You can even wait for this fire sale that's about to come in here in just a quick moment. But nope, says I want to go ahead. I want to try and spend the cash. But I don't know. That might have been all for naught because both of your teammates are dead. Clamp is last alive. He's just trying to stay alive on white health only in the water in a very peculiar situation. We lose two different teams. FaZe that we just watched being one of them here. And already still 14 squads in the lobby.
Yeah, the other one of those teams is Vitality. They actually go out first. So not too much to worry about. They're sitting second overall on the leaderboard. Top 5 at the end of 12 will mean you move straight through to finals. And as long as you avoid the bottom 3, you do see the survival stage. So not too much to be concerned. But yeah, it could be better here on Rebirth Island. Looking hot. They've moved their way out of the control center. Won it early. And now squeezing with the gas. Fede's on 7. Take a look at Gen G. Lennon has managed to clean up what was left of the Koodley roster, the H1 roster. Time. Find a little pocket. Boys, can you get in? Can you get some loot? And can we build our way into this map?
This is a great way to do it. For Ware earlier. Like you mentioned, I'm glad they were able to get their feet underneath them, continuing to hold this area of the map after maybe losing it earlier. But Novo, after clearing out Control Center, they know there's going to be some players down here in this water underneath Turbine. Can they work together? Unfortunately for you, you got Athletic pushing from behind. You'll lose Vortex, so you have to clean up these kills fast, put yourself in great position to hold the line. Two members of Athletic starting to make their way forward. Freddy, Keybase, it's a full fly on in. You take a lot of damage, though. And how do you decide to open up this fight as there are now about 4 different teams just in this one little small patch of land?
Yeah, the PA forces them all indoors as well, which allows then Keybase to get to the rooftops and claim so you can move on down through the layers. Blade's going to lose the fight underneath to Orbs. Zeppa also finds access. That's Monster Madness. So Fede, he senses it. There's red doors. I'm going to go chasing them. There's nothing better for this boy to be doing right now with the form he's in. Swings. Keybase just about stays up. Italian on Italian action. They'll call it a draw for now, but Vortex is cracked. Needs to find his way out. The Molotovs are doing the damage, but no! Vortex, Freddy Blade, the organ active, and they cut down the players in front of them to lay claim to Turbine.
Novo finds such a good timing there. It's just a slingshot movement between the two players to take down those members of Athletic, but the action doesn't stop yet. You may have control of this top side, but you got a couple of fish underneath you that are just trying to stay alive. So you can see Zeppa, he's swimming around, so is Teeny. And already, can you manage to stay alive? We know that this is a strat that we see year over year here in the Esports World Cup, and Zeppa, hey, we knew some players were going to do this. He's got a loadout Coda in a hand just for these moments in the water.
Yeah, he is going nuclear for this side. Teeny on 3. So this squad on at least 15 could be pushing 20. Rebirth Island offers so many more kills than the other maps. The top teams are struggling here. Virtus Pro drop out early as well. They're one of our top sides after Haven's Hollow. And this is how the rotation has evolved things here in Call of Duty Warzone for the Resurgence series. And everyone feeling a little bit of that on land. But Gen G, they've reestablished themselves here at Chemical, and this is where the zone's moving to, so this is win condition.
Yes.
Gotta find a way to anchor yourselves in and repel all invaders.
It's kind of one of those unfortunate situations where, sure, you gain the power position for this endgame zone, but you don't have to just focus on different areas. It's going to be tough to decide where you want to go. But hey, the action's been hot, it's been heavy. Let's go ahead, let's see how the boys are feeling from Gen G.
I don't think you do.
They can't. I see what you're saying.
We're gonna get kills as the game goes along.
It's still 11 teams up, bro. Everyone's not just everyone's back in it.
I'm gonna read the roof for more stims on the ground.
Okay.
I'm looking at office kind of.
Alright.
We're only on 5, but it's fine. Yep. Yeah, we're still safe. We gotta pull on the game.
Wait.
Top 10. Yo. might pick the door up and watch my right. I heard it.
Not a lot of comms coming out of Gen G, but you heard them say, just let everybody fight. We're only on 5, but it's okay.
Yeah, they lost that chem fight early. Since then, they've been in a bit of a regain situation. They understand they're probably out-tooled, and right now looking to play around as much multiplier as possible. No need to panic. Let the map deal with itself and find yourself in the later stages of this one. Athletic finished. They will drop inside that top 10 to the 1.2, but miss out on the 1.4. Nielsen buys Lonesome, only $100 in pocket. Barely enough for a Happy Meal, let alone get his boys back in amongst the mix. He's going to play Industries here. We'll run into Novo, but if he gets the timing through the backside, drops one or two of these players, of which he's more than capable, could hit the buy station nearby.
And look at Twisted Minds. They're now here on this sort of top floor of Chemical as well. You have Gen G down below. GK's in the mix. Everybody is just holding on. There's no movement. Shifty's actually going to be the one to drop Nielsen. And just like that, everybody is just waiting for these 2 additional teams to drop to get to that 1.4 multiplier.
The Stallions on the outside. Twisted Minds with the rooftops. Gen G in the trenches. One member of GK. One. The body starts to get moving and active, and Stallions have made a massive wrap because the zone's gone huge. It's dragged all the way across, and Lazy's going to be behind everybody and gets active to drop Shifty.
Oh my God, he has so much patience. He watches both of them go ahead of them. Eventually, he'll get found out by Lennon, though. Gets dropped. That's going to be GK eliminated. Now you have Novo and Stallions. They have to start to battle it out as well. Cluster goes up in over the top, but you can see for Novo, it's been such a good game for them. They wipe the Stallions. We are now into the top 5, 1.4 secured.
I love the idea from the Stallions getting the move early. Novo are already here. The problem is that they're now down to just the one player. Played stands tall for them, but Lennon will not. The Gen G game dead as well. Gen G, they're done. Not many points on the board at all. A tough one here to kick off Rebirth Island. Twisted Minds have found themselves at the top, but it's actually PBJ with a 4-3 in the belly of Industries.
All they have to do is just not get isolated. If all 3 members of PBJ can stay up, that would be huge. Everybody out of this Industries area. Believe on that backside, trying to make this early rotation, cuts down Blade. That's another team eliminated. These players are looking at the top right. They're doing the math. They're saying, wait a second here. The numbers aren't adding up. The numbers, Mason, where are they? As you're now realizing that you might be the only team of 3 up. Shots on that top helipad side. Almond will cut down Vortex and Believe finds Spam. And just like that, you actually bring this back into a 3v3 thanks to her Herculean effort coming on in. The Almond blast up, you find 2 members of PBJ, and just like that, it was PBJ's game to lose. Now it's a 3v1, and Twisted Minds come back from the grave to secure the win.
Yeah, not the best start if you are Twisted, but look at that man there. When it felt like Ravens were turning the screw, looking to get them out of the factory, Almond plays spoiler, sets himself up around the anchor, lets not only his boys back into fight, but drags the pressure away. From there, they can build themselves into the rest of the map, and that's why we see them in the late stages. Great execution in the end. They rotate early. Almond on that flank, clears out the helipad, and then you have the high ground and all the power that comes with it. So great stuff. Again, this is their best map currently. They've had turmoil, they've had issues. Those have been very public, but they are still a solid Rebirth side all the same. And considering that they were already having a pretty solid Havens Hollow, that map should shift them right up the standings. They'll be feeling pretty.
Yeah, they are going to be feeling A-okay after that. You see already a little cool, a little calm, a little collected here. Gen G having some talks maybe after that game as well. Players, I think, just maybe taking a little bit of a breath here after that first game of Rebirth Final and look at a chance, maybe recenter themselves if they need. And for some of these teams, they definitely need it there. I mean, we got to take a little bit of a moment where it's all, you can see here with this zone pull, he made that play all the way back to the buy station on the courtyard, and now he's going to be able to find those kills. Let's take a little bit of a look and listen at the end of that game.
On the board. What'd I say? Good shit, man. Really good job.
Here Fury come through there on the board, getting, feeling good about themselves right now. We've talked a lot about the comms issues that these guys have had at points. There's still a little bit of the chemistry in terms of pacing issue that we saw. We see it again in Haven's Hollow, but they are very comfortable here in Paris. There are no dangers, for them thus far, and there are no strangers to the main stage. So they're fine. They're doing their thing right now, and that'll put them in a position to move on through to Sunday should they continue on this path.
Yeah, I mean, really fantastic play there from Allman to be able to do that. But PBJ, they had all of that bottom industry side, man. It was like you saw them, they were clearing it out. You saw Believe had the right idea, just kind of maybe take that wide wrap, but just at the end of the day, it kind of gets away from them, I feel like.
Well, this is where Allman does a great job because he recognizes something. He understands that zone could pull either towards the north, south, east, west, and he's trying to put himself in a spot to rotate very early. When it pulls back inland, he wraps the helicopter side, drops that vortex up high, and then he's got the look over and sets up for his team. So great stuff from him.
Well, hey, we're going to go ahead and hear from one of those players already in an interview. Let's go ahead and see what they have to say.
I can speak good.
All right, everybody, show some love to Ravens Esports out there. I got Nason with me on the main stage. Nason, I mean, you guys come out and pick up where you left off at from the last major. You come in, you win in map number 1. How did it feel to start the day off right?
It feels good to win the first game of this tournament. Amazing tournament too. So yeah.
I know it felt good, and you guys look good up there, feeling comfortable right now. 3 games down so far. Are you guys just going to keep doing what you've been doing over the next 3 maps, or what you guys want to change going into the second half?
Yeah, we're going to play the same, maybe another top 1, I hope. And yeah, that's it.
And that's it. Now, this is you got the hometown crowd in your favor. One of the top French teams out there, the top French team out there. Anything you want to say to these fans out there, even at the halfway point, and you can speak in French?
Merci tous les frères d'être venus. Je vous aime trop. Vous êtes mes frères. Tout le monde, tous les Français, les gars. Vous êtes les meilleurs. Merci pour tout.
All right, guys, you heard it here from Nason. Yo, give him a round of applause, everybody. This is just the halfway point of the tournament. Still a lot more Warzone to play.
He thinks he can come in here and play my game. He knows nothing but go!
Tyler Wine, you're done.
All right, I'm Goj, this is Seymour, and we are here to talk about EWC Play app, folks. It is brand new. It is so dang cool. Going on for a couple weeks. Get a chance to earn $300,000 in total prize pool by locking in your pick'ems. Seymour, you got to walk us through how this works here for Call of Duty Warzone.
Well, once you download the app, of course, you're going to want to create an account. Once you create an account, you head to the play button in the middle, and it'll bring up Warzone. You got your groups for the day. It only locks in for the day that we're going to be watching. Today is day 1. It's our group stage. We got A and B. And you want to make sure you don't just pick your favorite teams, but you pick the best teams to win because it adds up.
It adds up. You're able to actually do pick'ems for every single game that's happening every single day. And it's important that you log in each day in order to lock in those pick'ems and hopefully earn some of that overall prize pool. Into day 1 here with the Warzone Resurgence Series Championship at EWC. Talk to me. What are you locking in for your first pick'em, Seymour? Come on. It's Group A to start.
Group A. I've been rocking with T1. Everybody's like, who do you got winning? I've been rocking with the T1 squad.
Okay.
You got Twisted Minds, Ravens. Everybody is going to be vying for that championship, so it's going to be hard to really say who wins on
Sure,
the day,
sure.
but I got my favorites. I'm sure Chet has their favorites.
Listen, folks, anybody can win Warzone Resurgence Series Championship, okay? And anybody can win the first match of Group A on day one. But we got a long competition, so go lock in your pick'ems now. Again, EWC Play app. This is download for free everywhere. iOS, Android, Google Play Store, everywhere you get your hands on that app. In your pick'ems. Seymour, it's going to be a great day today, and hopefully Chat's able to win some of that prize pool if you lock in the correct pick'ems. We will see you out there for the Warzone Resurgence Series Championship. Good luck in your pick'ems.
Seymour with the solid pickups too in regards to T1. He was able to perform well. By the way, if you are currently joining, don't forget to join the Esports Foundation Creator Program. You'll get a chance to go there, sign up, and just earn rewards by live streaming to your community. And there's some amazing rewards that a lot of people have been joining. Make sure you scan that QR code, join the Esports Foundation Creator Program, and we might end up interviewing you on the final day. We've gotten a chance to interview a couple people in previous weeks, but let's get back to Warzone because Seymour, T1, heck man, that was a hell of a pick to start off with. Thanks for joining us, by the way, Miles, Seymour, none other than Shift, and myself, the 7WG. How are you feeling so far about the T1 pick?
Feeling good. I mean, they look fantastic. You're getting some final circles out of them. They're making some right calls, especially off their drops. You see Spams turning up for his Rookie of the Year tournament. And, I mean, I couldn't be happier. I think a lot of people are going to be happy with their pick'ems. Twisted Mind's having a great day. Ravens are having a great day. T1, I think all the teams that are expected to perform in Group A are performing.
Yeah, Twisted Minds. No stinkers. It's what we love to see at a top-level tournament.
Twisted Minds, talking about that squad. I mean, especially this last game, being able to actually come out with the win. But the first two games, they were still able to put up good points, too. First game, second place.
Yeah, I mean, we're going to see the top teams when the ending circle is on their drop spot. They're going to finish in the top 5 without question. For me, it's just their ability to regain in that last drop. Because in map 2, they were not able to successfully do that. So to be able to find a position to get kills, get into a position to get to a final circle, and then find a way to finesse it to win it against teams that are already set up is really, really impressive. And that checks all the boxes in terms of things you want to see for a team to win a championship.
Hey, you got to do this again and again and again and again and again. Consistency, the name of the game right now. And hey, we like what we've seen. Top placements, a couple of good big scoring games. And again, to go back to the rookie conversation, we're seeing solid performances about these kids on their very first tournaments. And this is exactly what you want at the biggest competition of the year.
I think even like you talk about EWC, just in the pressure, you got the crowd, you got rookies literally turning up to probably one of the hardest Warzone tournaments you could play. So to see them perform is a big deal.
Yeah, and I think just kind of on top of that, some of the teams that we expect to do well have done well, but we had a couple of teams that I know that like in the green room were chatting about saying like, let's see what happens. Eclectic is one of those teams that everyone's sitting there saying, hey, they're trending, they're doing really well online. Didn't have a great time when their most recent LAN. So far, they've been dropping some deuces. I'm not talking like deuces. They're dropping the number 2 right now all over these lobbies. They're not looking very good. Not looking very good.
Yeah, the team. One team that you actually thought was going to not be doing well, wasn't it, Raven? By the way, I can vouch for it. Before we even talk about that, I can vouch. That ball was flat as heck.
Thank you.
That's why I gave it to you.
I appreciate that. That was a little self-sabotage on your part, but I'm here for it. No, I those that saw me last year, I get on this desk and I make a hot take. So far, Ravens have made me look stupid. They're killing like no one else right now. They're still at the top of the leaderboard simply based on the amount of kills that they can find. The big question mark is going to be, can they get to those final circles and put themselves in a position to win? Yes, they did it in map number 1, but that was because the final circle was their opening circle. So that's going to be my big question mark for them. Right now, they're looking good for a top 5 in the group, though, at least.
Top 5 in the group's good enough. Great spot to be in. But you said early starts are really good, nice early kills, but it's the late game where we're seeing the top teams. They're the ones with positional advantage, depends on the circles they're going. And so far, it feels like every circle's been a fun one again. I'm going off the excitement levels of the casters right now, and then every single time we see a pool, like, it's ball north, we're going south. I'm like, yeah, but hell yeah, can't wait to see where this is the thing, man. I mean, Warzone is one game, and that late game is a whole different beast. So excited to see what happens.
And I mean, who would have ever thought that Haven's Hollow second map is going to pull all the way out into the water?
Actually,
you're getting some good reads from the IGLs, though. I think that especially Rebirth Island map 1 for Twisted Minds to read the pull towards the top of the hill. You take out Novo, you kind of uproot them from that power position. It's an easy win from a lot of these teams who are veterans, champions. They're going to know exactly how to read these circles. And when you have day 1 teams already playing on like that, like this is what you expect from Twisted Minds. it's what I want to see from teams like Eclectic or teams like Novo as well.
And what's one team, like we're expecting this out of Twisted Minds? What's one team that has maybe surprised you? I know you mentioned one already, but what's another one, especially going into the last 3 games of day 1 for Group A?
Look, I'll throw a random name out there. Team Stallions have been finishing in the top 10 in all 3 of their maps.
That's a good call.
They need to kill better. That's just what it comes down to. They're placing well. They need to kill better, though, as we look at our standings here.
Raven Esports, they're at the top with those 62 points. T1, don't forget that top 5 at the end of tomorrow for Group A and Group B that will be moving on to match point finals. The bottom 3 will end up getting eliminated and their keys crushed. But I mean, Twisted Minds, we've got a chance to talk about it. DK Esports as well with 51 points.
I mean, my great surprise, though, Team Heretics, the thunder from down under. I don't know what the Spanish is for Vamos. I thought it was for
Vamos.
It is for Vamos. But these boys have really impressed. Zephyr, true vet, man. A true vet of the scene and finding success here early on.
GK, 35 of their kills came in the last 2 maps.
Nice.
That's just going to show that, and I know that the casters have been talking about it a lot. Placement doesn't matter as much anymore when you don't deal with multipliers of 1.6 for 5 and 2 times for the first spot. It's all about putting yourself in a position to get kills early. Yes, of course, at the end of this whole thing, you need to win a lobby. But right now, it's all about kill participation. And GK and Ravens have shown that you put the good numbers up there, you're going to be on top of the standings.
I think you're looking at an average of about 11 to 14 kills in a game, depending on your placement style. So it's to see a team get to the final circle, it's definitely not going to be enough. And you kind of see it with like VP, Vitality, they're towards the bottom. I think those are 2 teams. Gen G as well, you can say in 9th place. You expect them to be at the top of these standings, and that just hasn't been what their year has looked like. They've had some poor land placements. They've had some performances that are questionable. So to see them turn up to EWC again, it's just raising those red flags for these squads where they got to turn up in the back half.
Are you raising, or are you like waving it really hard though?
That's a very personal question. Very personal question. What are we talking about? A bit of a surprise in the bottom 3 there, Eclectic. There's talk backstage. The cast is saying that these guys should be way up there based on recent performance. Crimson very, very good. So a little bit of time still to turn that around, but you're getting into the danger zone. You know, we're coming up on game 4. This is only going to get harder, and that is not what she said here.
Okay, well, we're looking at the today's schedule right now. Rebirth Island's going to be coming out. Fortune's Keep there for game 5 and game 6. But with Twisted Minds, I mean, I'm hoping that this kind of form is going to continue with this squad. And if I'm not mistaken, game 1, I think it might be incorrect. It might have been Raven Esports that actually ended up getting the win on that first game. Twisted Minds did end up getting 2nd place, but I do want to hear what Twisted Minds got to say in this interview.
All right, this is Goj. I've got Blast. They just came off of game 3 win, Rebirth Island. Blast, that's got to feel insane, right?
Always winning on land and a BR is, always nice because, it's like pretty much how to convert a search and destroy. You could have to value your life, and then when you come out on top, it's always a good feeling.
In general, there's been a lot of chatter around Twisted Minds. You're representing an org that is trying to back-to-back win right now, but it's a different team, almost entirely, right? And you're joining Almond. This has been a really big switch for the people at home that maybe haven't been paying attention to all the drama. In a couple words, why did you want to join Twisted Minds?
I would say more of just pacing factors. Like, I came from multiplayer, so I would say multiplayer fundamentals apply to Warzone, especially for fighting. And Shifty has the same ideology of how to take fights, play a certain way. And me and him pretty much have the same agreement towards pretty much everything. So it was like a no-brainer. And Shifty, the Warzone Go, and then Ben, the best IGL. You won EWC last year, so who can say no to that?
He's one of the most winningest players of all time. So many of these players are. But big congratulations to you guys. First 3 games, quick final hit. Things are going well. How does that feel amidst all the chaos of the last couple scrims and leading up to today?
Scrims, I would say, leading up to EWC, but there was a lot of factors. I mean, people that don't know, I scrimmed for probably about almost 2 weeks and 95 degrees in my room because my AC went out in southern Texas. So I was going clinically insane, but we're also, I would say, a better LAN team than online team. So, I mean, end of the day, scrims are you're not supposed to win every scrim. You play scrims to get better. So you want to find your flaws and correct them.
Cool. That's Blast. Twisted Minds just won game 3, quarter of the way done through group stages, half of the way done today, man. Good luck.
Thank you.
Cheers.
Halfway through our first day here for Group A, 3 maps done and done. 3 more to go. Great words from Blast there after coming off that win. Yep. And obviously Twisted Minds currently sitting in 3rd overall in the lobby here after these first 3 games. Would love to be able to continue that trend and possibly end day number 1 top of the board.
No, yeah, most certainly. It's been impressive from them. Obviously, they get a relatively mixed bag on Haven's Hollow, but obviously their average placing is fantastic right now. You're talking just over 3rd. Is tying up with lobby leaders T1 in placing. So yeah, great stuff out of them in terms of getting to those late circles. Continue that trend and you'll be seeing yourselves through to Sunday with very little issue. Another team in the top 5 that are quite stunning in terms of the metrics side of the game. They are sitting in 5th. It is your team Heretics. Thunder from Down Under says Miles. Currently rocking 44 kills. Their average placing is 10th. I don't think I've ever seen a team with an average placing of 10th in the top 5 of anything. So ridiculous for these guys. If they can figure out a rotation or 2, they're a real dark horse in this one.
Oh, well, Team Heretics, they're going to be the cutoff right now for that top 5, just being 0.4 points of the Italians and Team Novo. Bottom of the leaderboard, we saw it there in the break there. Eclectic, FaZe Clan, and First Squad. They need to do better if they want to try and get out of that bottom trenches and at least into that middle pack to make it to the survival stage. We still have 3 more games to play, a second map of Rebirth Island before we get ready to head on to the newest addition to Call of Duty Warzone Esports, Fortune's Keep. So let's get ready. Let's hop on into it. It was battles at Control. It was battles at Chem. Let's see what map number 2 here on Rebirth Island, map number 4 overall, will deliver us here today.
I think an overlooked story potentially as well about that last map. Top scorer across the entire map, Novo. We saw them win that Control fight very early. 3-team contest in that direction. But if you do get the Control Center building, you hold the more important buy station and cut off so many rotations for teams. So they can repeat that. That will jettison them right up the board. By all the teams now saying their hopes, their prayers, and flying into the skies of the island.
All right, let's get ready. You can see players locking on in and just trying to shrug it off. You had a nice little bit of a break here, but here we go. What will this map bring us? We're getting ready to hop on in. Take a little bit of a look at Twisted Minds after that win down here at Factory. You're actually getting this for free, Enigma. No contests here today. Kind of why we saw them make some of those early rotations, early movement in that last map. Started kind of flirting on up here a little bit with the Ravens. But it's actually going to be maybe a float on over towards Living where they think they can get a little bit active against Vitality.
Novo at the control center. Of course, Novo are back. FaZe instantly applying pressure. We thought Novo might decide to contest the boat against Virtus Pro. Instead, they fancy the FaZe fight more, and you can see why. FaZe towards the bottom of our board. This control fight for them, crucial to really get their afternoon going. Entire tournament here at the Esports World Cup. Dizzy does well to stay alive. Might actually get some blessed timing. Well, while he does get dropped, you've actually got clamped in for the trade as well. So that's great work considering the circumstances that he was in. And now that gives you the parity in the fight. But look at VP. They're sending the boys over. They're sniffing the opportunity to third party this.
Love this. This is exactly out of the VP playbook. You got Destroy and Grimy working together. It's the boys. You can see they open it up. They find Clamp, but it's a full kill there as they're starting to work some of these teams around the map. DK, they're going to leave one player up on top of the water power and Eclectic down below in the showers. Going to maybe go ahead, turn it on, scrub the soap out of their eyes because they need to clean up their act if they want to try and jump up the leaderboard. Stukex, MK in hand off the deck. Just trying to see if anybody's going to make a play towards this buy station. Yep, patience is a virtue. We'll be able to catch Zanks.
Incredibly important for the Eclectic boys to get going. This is by far their best map. They've been really solid in recent scrims, but this is the one that they have been a real force on. It's because they hold this water tower side. The fact that Geeky are ripping it away is just causing them so many issues. So great stuff out of the German-Austrian lineup. Stallions. Yes, we're seeing them in the late circles. Yes, they could definitely do with more kills. Jay won't be an easy side to take down. They're more than happy to play death ball, to rotate only after the fights are finished. And Praise right now just trying to squeeze forward and set up some more engagements. And there comes the first trade, though, is in, kind of, comes from elsewhere in the end, but that won't matter, won't care at all. You get the kill.
Ooh, look at that. You see the tap almost come on through, but you see Jawad on the other side, and, well, you're actually don't even need to go for it. So a little bit of line here, but look who's kind of started maybe flirt with some of this action. It's one of these members of Vitality. who's looking to make their way on through. Down here at the turbine, the water battles continue to rage. Teeny into the water. Will continue firing and almost gets the kill, but Reaper, he's going to turn around, bring the damage right back onto him. This is something that we see time and time again, right? You get thrown into a blender early, you splash on into this outside. Those kills. A couple different areas, though, continuing to kick up the action as Ravens have made their way into prison.
Yeah, Nielsen will have Geeky and Eclectic for company. Zank down low, that's the anchor. Nielsen's trying to sniff them out. You find that kill, and often the COD tower shall fall, but right now, not really actually finding the engagements that you wish if you are this French lineup. Might get awful timing on Geeky, who are just dropping into the lower side of prison, and Nielsen will hear a stim pop off nearby. Where is that? How's it located? Either way, the jostle, the back in the fourth, the shifting through the layers of prison. Gunfights will start to ensue, and well, they're already underway here at Camp.
Aiden, nice little shimmy in the window, drops the smokes, think that he can maybe reposition, just not going to be enough. This is against the H1 squad. As Ivy Fire is going to be the one to bring down Aiden and get the full. That's going to leave just 2 members from Gen G having to scurry their way to other parts of Chem. You can see Gabe towards the top. He gets a little bit of a sense that one of these H1 players is going to be checking that outside plat area. Go ahead and drop on down. But H1, they know that they've been able to split up Gen G here. You get one drop, but oh my God! Gabe Kuhn! We know him, we love him. We see this time and time again. It's a nice little 1v2. You stem the tides of the push from H1. You get a couple more. Teammates get them back into the action.
You see moments like that and you understand why Gen G have actually shifted him to the back line. Gotta stay up in the fight. Need something to really cut you through and get that timer down. Okay, with the 2-piece just means the boys are back into the skies and actually gains control of Chemical. So my God, Aiden and Lennon now as they try and play clean up, and Lennon gets some insane timing to get in behind Cornell. You will eventually push out so much space, and hopefully this is the foundation for a far better rebirth here for Gen G.
Yeah, it's like I think they see this most wanted on the top of Gabe Kuhn, and they think that maybe for some reason Gabe's alone. Nope, not going to be the case. Lennon from down below. It's Kudley. He's the only one up here, but Shifty's kind of lurking around here as well. You have to be careful. He pops on up. He cuts down Aiden, and he's continuing to rip, getting in this damage. Lennon's got to back on up, get the plates back on through. Can he manage to stay alive? Decky has come to try and play spoiler on this outside, but you just fed an extra point to Shifty himself. Shifty basically said, I'm bored. Let me go ahead. Let me get active. Let me get this gun hot because we need to be top of that leaderboard.
Yeah, he's pushed out far here. Again, a free life, essentially. The whole game plan is that Shifty goes on the hunt because you've got the space over factory control by your anchor. That will allow your loadout to be protected, and you'll land back in on it should you run into any troubles. But Gabe Kuhn and the Gen G fellas will rotate back towards Chem, figure a different path through towards the circle. Second Living, Stallions, PBJ, and FaZe are all here. FaZe in trouble. This has been a torrid time for them so far in this tournament. Must come alive, but it's not likely that the Stallions will give them any room to breathe in here. PBJ, you can see they're on the hunt as well here in green.
Vitality's also looking to maybe get a little bit part of this action. Continue to rage on. J Vela down below. You catch one running, and there you go. Stallions taken out of this lobby. That doesn't make you breathe if you are PBJ. You still have a couple other squads around you like FaZe and Vitality who might look to get active. Gen G making their way out of Chem. They find themselves here at the bottom of prison, just on the outside. A couple of shots will back down the players from above, buy you the space that you need. Geeky will be on that outside. Aiden gets eyes onto Decky. This could be a huge kill to ensure that you cut down the forces of Geeky.
Gabe trapped between a rock and a hard place, very much so. He will get the initial fight with Decky, but it's just a bait and a switch, but Lays doesn't do enough. Gabe, what are you doing? Another 2-piece. 6 kills now for the man. And we talked about why he is seen as one of the best frags in the game, but another example of why when you step him into the back line and Gen G need him the most, he stands tall and keeps you going.
If I had $1 for every double kill we've seen out of Gabe Kuhn, well, I'd have $2. And that's not a lot, but it's weird that it's happened twice.
In quick succession, too. First example of how Gen G have built themselves into turmoil that they've gone through this year. all the trials and tribulations. They'll now hold out in the prison courtyard. Eclectic aren't gone just yet, though. Keybase, he plays forward, tries to catch the timing on Gabe Kuhn. Aiden was there to swat him away. Gabe Kuhn felt like he left a little bit of something. UAV is going to go up. Keybase finished anyway. The rotation isn't clean. Likely a dive into prison here to shout yourself from the players above. Yeah, this is a huge moment for this advanced UAV for Gen G. This is going to give them all the information they need of how they can push their way forward. How can you carve a path? Because you can see that with that information, they take down Mati. That's going to be FaZe Clan, and now they know that these members of EK are going to be hanging out around here, and you can kind of play a little bit more defensive if you are Gen G. Aiden, he's going to lead the line, send some shots down on range. You hear Freddy on the outside, though, and that's Eclectic taken out of the lobby. The safe is just gorgeous from them right now. Lennon and Aiden just chopping players down in mass. Aiden gets the coverage, flies on forward, picks up Stukex. It's about bro for the duo. We talk about Gabe Kuhn as the fragger, but as a two-headed boys are cutting apart all of their opposition, and the ain't done. Lennon pops the hip fire, drops Keybase, and you are holding so much of this western side of the map.
Hey, so much talk about Shifty and Z Smith, as obviously as champions, but guess what? We got to talk about Aiden. You can't ever forget how important he was to that Twisted Minds roster, and you're starting to see why a lot of the community has faith into Gen G into getting it done. Let's take a breather. Let's take a look at where that zone is pulling. It's going to sit around this headquarters living kind of side, and we get a nice little look, lay of the land. Where is have to gain this positioning now, because you can see Resurgence starting to end. PBJ out, Eclectic, a lot of bodies starting to fall. Lack of mass here on Rebirth Island. It had you a hell of a lot of gunfights early, but once it comes to rotation time and the Resurgence is disabled, it all spells death sentences for those who begin to move late. Taking a quick look here at where some of these teams are set up. Ravens are typically in that headquarters spot. He's here, huge play. If he can control the prison rooftop, it allows his two boys down below to play clean up on anything that tries to move that will be lacking in bodies if you're everyone except for that Gen G side. Listen, we've seen time and time again, year over year on this map, the player that can control this headquarters tower can sometimes just be a real nuisance to everybody else on the map, right? You're going to have no opportunity to just kind of play on this outside. And so for Ravens, this is a great positioning they look to be in. So you can see, it's just heat. And listen, this MXR, it might have got a little bit nerfed in that Season 5 patch that we had last week. It still rips. It's still shooting. But as you can see, as they start moving a little bit forward, Gen G, they're starting to get active. We did a listen in with them, and it was a little bit calm. I have to imagine that it's not nearly as calm in this map. Let's go ahead. Let's see how the boys are feeling.
There's one in Grandma's, in third story.
Oh, the basement? Go best,
yeah.
I can burn more smokes too, okay?
Here's another muni too, another muni.
Yeah, put stims. We got loads of stims, butter. Okay.
We can buy another PA if we need.
No. I think we just get into fucking Grandpa's. Now? Yeah. Yep. I'm in bottom. I'm here. I'm just flip. Hello. Ready. Hello me now. Ready. Just let you sit here and don't give nothing.
I'm low. Yeah, right.
I want to grab a DC.
We're gonna have to go low left.
Do you want to go like?
I think I hear him wall bouncing down there.
Yeah, low.
My gear full. Hold on.
Don't tweak. Alright, nice. Yo, they're gonna be like.
I don't have any sims.
Yep. Behind.
One shot.
Oh my God, Gen G, they are looking good, but it's the Ravens. Map out of them.
Honestly, there's so much I want to say that was great about their comms and their play style, but Nearson pops a three-piece, hits takeover, and gets so many points on the board. Now going to use the stims, just try and keep himself up as much as possible, avoid any attention, let the circle squeeze, and hope to get top 5, and you get there. The Frenchmen are on fire here in Paris.
Well, obviously Nearson making that happen up towards the top. We got to take a look at green and a couple of these teams that are still alive. Twisted Minds, Virtus Pro, battling for cover here, while you still have a number of squads elsewhere. Blast will finally take down Nearson, and that will put you into the top 4 here. But this is going to be a battle as the zone will continue to pull away and force some movement through this 10 side. Decky from Geeke. He's going to be able to find Destroy. This is going to cause VP. They got to pause for a moment here, but they're getting cut down. They're getting shot from too many areas. Decky's just going to try and wall bang. Nade's going up over the top. Stukex is repositioned on the outside. So often the anchor that has to sit in a spot to cover his boys and will get there. Oh man, he will not win that gunfight initially. Vortex on the drop. Black's Diddley's cleaned up one. Novo lay claim to the souls of Twisted Minds. We will see a 3v2v2 with Virtus Pro in commanding position. It's the Italian veteran Vortex. He's coming alive in Blade. He's going to go huge for the team. The two Italians, they're still here as they're going to battle Virtus Pro. Slides on out. Destroy is dead. You just need one more. Grinding. He's able to find them. Virtus Pro with another map win. Incredible stuff there towards the end. It felt like Novo had turned the tide, flipped the screw just in the right moment. One of those engagements that they love all around each other. It's the death ball, even outnumbered, even outgunned. That's where they stand up very well. But it will be Virtus Pro and Grimy yet again going big and ensuring that this team march ever closer to those Sunday finals. So many teams have talked about it. Yes, they have an insane ceiling. Sometimes their floor can undo them. We're not seeing any evidence of it still remaining here at the Esports World Cup. 4 games played. Virtus Pro have taken 2 of them. You want a way to ensure that you're in that top 5. Winning 2 games with 1.6, and we know they always have a solid amount of kills. It's a hell of a way to make sure that you're going to be in that conversation. They do not want to have to play that survival stage. But let's take a look at just some of these ending moments there, Enigma, because Novo had it wrapped. They're in such a good positioning. They're finding the right kills, but it's right here. It's grimy. It's that little bit of a shake. It's a 2-piece. I mean, that's just what we kind of come to expect from that young man.
Is the reposition off the top into the G slide. The initial player who gets dropped makes the commies up high. By the time the aim's adjusted, Grimy's already going one way down low, and then he checks back onto his right leg, just shifts the balance in the gunfight, and it just doesn't give the Novo players enough time to react. And all 3 of those boys are shooters, by the way, just to show the ceiling why everybody keeps bringing Grimy's name up through this year and where his career could take him.
How many 2-pieces did we see in that map, dog? There was a lot. There was a lot of 2-pieces from everybody in that map. This is crazy, but we got to go ahead and take a little breather here as we get ready to head on into Fortune's Keep. So stay locked in, ladies and gentlemen, because we got 2 more maps here to round out Group A.
Everyone is playing, you're not yet. EWC Play is your all-in-one platform to compete in fantasy, pick'em, and quests for a grand total of $1,000 in prize pool. Build your dream fantasy team in 5 different games and track your score with live results tables. Predict the winner of every game, every group stage, and every tournament. Complete daily and weekly challenges to earn boosters that help you climb the global leaderboard. Got what it takes? Join EWC Play now.
How you feeling kicking this tournament off so far?
Oh man, listen, I am loving it right now. I'm loving the drama, right? We've seen Ravens kind of putting BTA to Twisted Minds, and you know, a little side scoop here. Okay. Twisted Minds said that Ravens Esports has never killed them on LAN. I don't know, they might have been lying. They said that, and they're like, "Oh, we're gonna go out and we're gonna destroy them," and it's not looking like it. Ravens is looking dominant right now. I can't lie.
I mean, they're looking really dominant, picking off where they left off. Okay, from the last LAN tournament that we had. Now, so far, and especially going into these next few maps, who needs to step step it up, all right? Because we also got our 3 world champions in Group A. Who are you expecting to turn up in the second half?
Yeah, for me, I think I want to see a little bit more out of Vitality. They have an ex-champion, right, from last year. They normally struggle to get kills, but the thing is, those guys are so good. I don't know if it's a pacing issue. I need to see them step up. I don't know exactly where they're at, but I know they're on the right side, I believe, of the leaderboard, so bottom 8. They are not in the top 5 right now, so I want to see them go a little bit crazier.
Yeah, they definitely do got to go a little bit crazy. They start to pick it up towards the back end, but they need more than that. It's all about getting into that top 5, getting qualified for Sunday. You don't want to go through that survival stage. And as a former player, you know about the pressures that is on the stage to be at the bottom, to be on the come up. So for the Warzone players out there who want to make it to the stage, who want to make it to EWC, what tips can you get it on to be on top of that game?
Hey, man, listen, if you got it, you got it. I'm a firm believer that if you are good at the game, you will make it to the top. The only advice I would say is get into as many tournaments as possible and play as many as you can. I mean, right next to me, we have a 15-year-old Ketchup. He's quite literally I'm not gonna lie, better than all playing in tournaments and going crazy. So I got Sariel. He came in, qualified for both Atlanta and Birmingham through console. And people say, oh, you can't do the console. That man did it. So my advice, man, is don't make excuse for yourself. Grind as much as you can. Even if you're on console, you can do it too. And if you got it, you got it.
If you got it, you got it. I don't know, guys. I got a little bit of chills after that one. Make sure you guys check out Proposal's Watch Party. Go talk to Ketchup. Go talk to Biffle and hang out with the boys. We'll see you guys in a bit.
If you got it, you got it. Damn right. And right now, VP definitely got it. They have won twice out of 4 matches. This squad is just looking unstoppable right now.
And they're winning their ones at the end. That's the biggest thing in COD. You got to win your one. So seeing them find not just the finesse to get to the top, but dominate in the kill tally, really strong rise to the top here for VP.
Yeah, that's what you love to see, especially day one. You don't want to have any jitters. Let's talk about some players, though, because I saw Gen G. Remember, before this match, they were on that second page of the leaderboard. This time around, Gabe Kuhn, come on, stepping it up. Then the whole squad, to be fair, the whole squad was putting up a bunch of eliminations, and it's good to see them starting to put up this kind of numbers.
20 kills, I think, in that last rally, the most recent one, which tied Novo, I think, actually, for the overall drop, which is big. But anytime you start to get to that 20 number, yeah, people are going to feel your presence on the map. The biggest thing about it is now we got to start getting those multipliers into play for Gen G. They're finding great success with the kill feed, but it's all about finding ways to get their placement to help them boost those multipliers.
Baby steps, right?
Yeah, it's a little bit.
You got to start somewhere there if you are currently Gen G right now, getting those kills, making sure they start moving up on that leaderboard, making sure that they stay within striking range for the top 5. We're heading now into the final 2 matches here of Group A. Where is somewhere that you personally will want to see Gen G at?
Yeah, it's tough to say because right now they feel like they're constantly getting contested off their drop spots. And that's, I think, just a big advocate for not only them staying alive and finding good kills, but trying to stay survivable as the game gets a little bit deeper is where they're struggling. So no matter where they end up finding themselves in, condition is going to be the biggest key to success as they want to try to get to that top 5 spot. You got to be able to put yourself in fighting condition in the final circle.
Let's see if they're going to have what it takes to get to that top 5 in this next 2 matches. Don't worry, though. They still have a whole day tomorrow as well. But, I mean, we would love to see them in the top 5. Let's see what's going to be happening in this final 2 matches.
Whew, great breakdown there from 7 and Shift. Speaking of Gen G, a hot topic right now as you get ready to move on to Fortune's Keep, my man, because they have now snuck in to our top 5 to potentially be a team that will qualify to our Match Point Sunday and not have to play through that survival stage. So as we get ready to head on in, talk to me a little bit about how does Gen G look on this Fortune's Keep map, because this is a new addition that we've had to our space.
I think what I've got to do is tip my hat to the changes recently that they made.
Yes.
We talked a lot about the ceiling that they potentially had and how Gabe is one of the straightest shooters that we have in the scene, but there was so often the flaw when they would collapse, when they would have these patches of, okay, dropped out because we've lost a contest or because we've lost an early rotation. You're seeing how moving Gabe to the backline to keep them alive in those important moments is allowing them not only great placing and consistently here, they're averaging 6.8, but it's then also the amount of kills that they're mopping up once Aiden and Lennon feel comfortable and you have the pocket of space and they get moving. So, they've been through, they have probably had 30 different drop spots through the year, 5 different role changes, multiple teammates. It's been a battle, but you get to land and you look at this and all of a sudden it feels like it's starting to pay off. We've got a ways to go, but this is increasing signs of a side that is all coming together at the right time.
2 more games needed. You would love to be able to sit comfortably in that top 5, but for Gen G, you still have teams like T1, Vitality, Heretics, and GK hot on your heels. So as you get ready to drop on in, it's going to be about who can execute the most here on these last final 2 maps for Group A here on the day before we get ready to shift gears and bring in Group B. But here we go, back on the keep, ladies and gentlemen, as we get ready to drop on Fortune's Keep, primarily a more defensive side in map that we have seen. Usually actually less kills overall, so you have to super take advantage of the kills that you can get and really marry them up with that placement multiplier.
Yeah, a lot of sides are going to change things up depending on the zone. However, we get a relatively neutral one here. Sensors you like slightly pulls off towards the west, but not enough for anyone to make emergency changes. So it's the battle at the keep versus Pro. Often a graveyard team, actually. Decided they want this. It's up against the Ravens. King Chalk just catches Grimy by surprise. Doesn't happen often. We'll get that one for now, young man. Destroy. Backs off. Doesn't get very far before King Chalk cleans him out too. So great work. Talked so often about Nielsen this year. This man grown in levels beyond belief.
Yeah, I mean, Nielsen has been a top-tier competitor, sometimes subbed in on Twisted Minds on some of those online events, some scrims, and still continued to look unreal. You've said it time and time again, potentially maybe a little bit of an audition this year for a certain French team next year, but we'll wait. We'll talk about that one later in the week. For Gen G, though, to jettison them up at the leaderboard. But now here at Winery, you can see already they've had to maybe stem the tides as they're trying to go against Vitality, a team that's kind of been known to run Winery lately.
Yeah, it's interesting as well because usually this is a 3-team contest with Novo being amongst the mix. They've actually decided to go and play Lighthouse instead. Almost kind of third party. This is the same way you would the control ball with control. So interesting strat. We'll see if it pays out for them. Either way, it's going to be show with Smith. You isolate Gabe Kuhn, obviously the Anchors, and now the Gen G players having to scramble. One down in the tunnels. And they should now hand all this space to Vitality, but they're not done yet. They're on the hunt.
I like the patience from Skull. The nade is actually come on through, and he's going to find a good timing there. Slides on out. Unfortunately, will get traded on out. Thankfully, you got Smitty there. Just on a nice little off angle to cut you on down. Rez will come through, so nice little bit of a timing there from Vitality to make sure that that fight goes nice and clean your way. You don't want to lose a player in that mix and all of a sudden take a timer hit just for no reason.
Yeah, a lot of teams here in town. H1, of course, on our screens. You also have VK, CT Gaming, as well as the recovering PBJ and First Squad. So all about those battles. VK, this is an area where they have improved massively recently, putting themselves in drop spots where it's just about players like Lays getting active. He never looks better than when it essentially feels like multiplayer, when he's in and out of engagements over and over again. It's helped lift them from a team that no one considered coming into this tournament to a real dark horse, but you do have CT above you, and all 3 players are here.
Oh, and CT, I got to give them some credit. They have looked really good from this sort of overlooked side of the map. Vita, he's going to have to maybe play a little bit of defense here as he drops on down. You have Lays on the hunt here. You're throwing some shimmies behind the truck. Your teammate's going to back you on up. A little bit of hesitance. Great play-by-play there from Geeke. Just to back down some of those members of CT Game. Back to the keep we go.
Ravens, VP. King Chalk's on 3. Does have the cluster available to him if he wants to take any space. Doesn't know necessarily the Destroy's off to his left. So Destroy could catch a timing here, set up a pitch potentially with Grimy, aim to play trades, who lays in wait.
Oh, Grimy thinks he has the first shot, and it was looking good, but King Chalk has the shots just a little bit too straight. I'll put number 4 on the board for him, and he's on the hunt right now. Destroy is going to use that underneath his... Oh. Just go ahead. Back on up here. Still in zone. Nielsen will get found up from Adrian from above here. So you have a number of these squads that, as long as the keep is going to be in zone, it's enough space that they can keep just flying back on in and just get a little bit lost, get your guns, continue to be guns up, and find these kills.
A lot of teams will just do this. Mop up as many points as they can. At some point, call it a draw, disappear off into their own rotations. Set themselves up for later circles. Here's some points, fellas. I'll go and get my multiplier out of it. Phaser here. Keep has been a slaying ground for them in recent times. He's will want that one back. Felt like a gimme. We'll get one of the VP players just slipping out the window. He's trying to find a pocket, a bit of space here that will make Nearson feel more comfortable about getting aggressive, but he's one of the best in the world at this. Tuck himself off into a corner, spring into a life for a two-piece, turn the tide, and get Ravens on the front foot again.
Just looking at our kill feed here, you can see Teeny, he is finding some kills across the board. Eclectic is finding some kills on the other side of the map. A lot of action happening elsewhere. You can see also just on spin around a couple of vitality. Maybe take a fight against Dizzy from FaZe there. Looks like they will be able to make that trade. So Vitality pushing forward to gain some space, and I like this play a lot. This rotation on Winery is tough. So they're just trying to find any amount of space that they can just take for free, and it looks like both members have been able to do that. But we got to focus on this fight still here in the Keep, because Ravens still finding themselves on the edge of the gun. FaZe Clan, you might have lost one, but you're still going to match up together. Try and push back this Ravens esports team.
KingShock does so well there. Should have been dropped in two different moments. The pre-fire initially to buy him space to retreat, and then the stim timing. It's preemptive. It's early. He knows he's going to take damage, so he gets it in as those first bullets hit, and that gives him the escape position. Woo! Oh, Shifty rounds the corner, just about gets helped out enough. There's out J Fella. A little bit of extra love there. Set yourselves up now inside the bell tower. Blasty sticks his head out just a little too long. Shifty's there for the trade, so back to your feet. And Shifty might do better than that just yet. And Spawn protects. I tell you what, BBJ be counting their lucky stars. But either way, Twisted have control of higher northwest of this current circle from here through to Graveyard and the Spiral. They have got a lot of land, which now will allow them to loot up, play their contracts, and set themselves up for the later stages.
Yeah, you see some smokes come in, a cluster strike as well, just to kind of provide a bit of cover for the time being. So Zone will continue to push. Now all these teams that we've been watching for so long play around the Keep. They got to move. And T1, they kind of putting themselves in a great position here. I'm also looking over towards the Spiral, because they have their anchor sitting in that Spiral who can just kind of play their life, allow these two members T1 to really get aggressive and try and farm as many of these kills as fast as possible, really.
The fire sale now being active means that all the teams want to play in for a buy station. With the situation here with Ravens, it's a case of, all right, well, not only do you have that actual pocket space, do you have the money? You're able to get an advance into the sky. If you can't do it in this moment, that'll allow you to just clear out this Keep and get on the rotation south. You desperately need it. Desperation also the case for Eclectic. They need points. Seems like they're in a recovery situation over towards Cove. Zanx finds a little bit of foliage, lies down, says, boys, we gotta get ourselves going. Won't happen just yet. The Twisted Minds, they're on that rotation. Again, so much space right now. Almost trying to time his PA. Just drop it on top of that wall. Get his boys covered over and moving forward.
So much action happening on the northern side and the southern side. But from east and west, there's almost nothing. It's like there's a giant band in the middle of the map that is just desolate. Nobody wants to play from there. Everybody getting pushed into these extra areas. We're coming to the end of zone number 3, and we're still only missing 2 teams.
We are indeed. This war is just going to keep going on here for the Ravens as they charge down now, almost left of FaZe Clan. He, desperate to stay up. He will take damage. Clamp and Dizzy alive, though I don't think he's going to get the support in from them there elsewhere on the map. Marty's going to find a little bit of an angle here, just shifting himself around, making himself hard to track. Won't die just yet. Ravens are going to have to move with the gas. Don't have time to use their money at the buy station realistically, not to set themselves up in the way they would like. Just a thorn in the side if you are Marty. Ecuadorian refusing to give this up.
Yeah, and Ravens, they have to clear this out in their back because they want to make sure that they can just be forward, guns up. Looking at the kill feed, though, I'm seeing potentially a Vitality white. Yes, confirmed. Vitality is gone from this lobby here on Fortune's Keep. Not able to make use of that Winery side. The Twisted Minds, can you find the angle here? Shifty, he wants to get on top of this church side. Looking out across. You know you have a member from First Squad. It's got to be around here. It's going to be Reaper just holding an angle down below. He's gone wide if you are Twisted Minds. Now the things will continue to come to a screeching halt as Resurgence has been disabled and we are only missing 3 teams.
Yeah, everyone wants, usually it's top 5 at this point. It's going to actually be the top 10, the 1.2 multi.
Stukek's going to touch ground. You might wish you hadn't just done that directly in front of the Heretics. They've drawn up a firing squad, a line, literally in the sands here off Smuggler's Cove. And they're begging the Austrian and the German to run at it. Well, Ravens continuing to be hot here in this game. Let's go ahead. Let's see how the Ravens are feeling with this listen in. Maybe not. I don't know. There's a PA that rips across. And just like that, Ravens maybe not expecting that, but a huge moment. Problem for Spam and Disrupt is you're only at the gates. No buy station really within reach. Spam's the one with the money. He might make a desperation play, but honestly for them right now, it's just about avoiding trouble. Shifty gets tagged up from elsewhere. PA also hammers over the top. I think that was his, and that's what forced T1 out of position initially. Together as a 3 should be able to look out over everything mid-map once they've dealt with the plays directly in front of them.
Yeah, this is really tough. Disrupt is down and is so close to maybe getting tapped for a res, but it's just maybe he found himself a little bit of a pocket. Spam is just saying, I don't know if I can come get you. Unfortunately for you, it's a rain of hellfire from above with a couple of Sentex from Almond that'll give you that kill. Shifty, he senses blood in the water. It's a nice little slide out. You take them done, but FaZe Clan, they find Spam in the back, and that is going to be T1 making an exit. Resurgence is disabled, so all of these fights matter so much more as the zone continues to close in into the top 10. We are here with a 1.2 multiplier.
When we got to look at the zone there, the team's center match, that's Virtus Pro, set up in what could be win condition once we get there. Stone's Throwaway is going to be Novo. Gen G likely going to face pressure from them shortly. Aiden tries to make the buy for the PlayStation, even for the buy station. Doesn't have any money to spend just yet, though. So if you are Lennon, trying to find a little bit of a gap to push your boys into. But also, you've got to worry about holding out. T1, they're back up as a full 3, so I can deal with Dizzy here. There goes FaZe Clan. You attract the attention, but Len repositions well.
Yeah, it's a really good job from Len to be able to stay alive. You slide out, you find one, you play your life, you are still here. You have a couple of members, Twisted Minds, pushing forward. Lennon, he takes some early shots. Yet again, still playing his life. Still staying alive here. Twisted Minds, they have to be able to somehow make this cross. You've unfortunately lost a blast in this play. You still have one player out in the gas. That's going to be Almond, sitting towards the top. You have VP on one side. You have Gen G on the other. I don't know how you make your way through.
Shifty's just going to patrol the outer walls here. Use this wall as a heady. The shots initially are glorious. In the background, the Eclectic team is done. Goodley and Go will make a mess of them. Shifty now just rotating, trying to use this wall to essentially shield his crossing, let him into a space that's going to allow Blasties to play on forward. And you're running up now against this Gen G side. And Almond's up above, and Almond's dealing out damage.
Oh my God, he's still able to find one to Lennon. You were able to make it happen once and even a second time, but third time, Almond will find the kill. In the back, Stallions are eliminated into the top 5. 1.4 multipliers here, but you got 2 members of Twisted, you got 2 members of Gen G, and on this other side, it's all 3 members of Virtus Pro still alive, looking to hold out some of the other members of this lobby.
Gen G are down beneath Almond still, so Shifty doesn't necessarily have protection here. It's going to be an awkward timing. He squeezes forward anyway, just getting a little bit of space. Zone's actually going to drag over towards Novo. Virtus Pro currently split those 2 teams, so Shifty's hoping that those 2 engage each other. Then he can third party, but it's Gabe and Aiden down below that really could spoil the party if they get active at the right time.
Oh my God, Grimy finds Fede, but the trades happen right on back, and Zeppa is going to be one player to still get active. Zeppa's still alive? I have no idea what's happening there, but already we are down to the final 3 teams. You can see already Shifty and Almond still alive. Adrian and Destroy, but they have the buy station, so you see it go back on in. They're going to get Grimy, boots on the ground to work together.
Good
shots. The top, Almond lets it rip with the CBRS.
Gen G are coming though. They're starting to squeeze up through the backside. Almond kind of wants to deal with Grimy. Also wants to turn and look at the pressure in from behind. Gable drop Almond up on top. Shifty trying to rotate using the G. Going to pop himself into the passenger seat so he can shoot out and squeeze the other side.
He's going to go ahead. He finds the timing. It's a double armor crack. Slides on out. Aiden with a huge 2-piece. It's one member that's still here from Twisted Mind. It's just Shifty playing the card, but he's going to be able to slide on out. He makes his way below. Is he about to try and force a heal off here? Stims have been nerfed. The members here of Gen G, they will meet on up. They know It's just a 2v1, and I wonder, does Shifty, does he have the money? He has 6,300. If he can maybe play this bottom, find one of those buy stations in the auto area, could maybe string together something. But they have found the third member of Gen G.
Yeah, Gen G here just going to spread the space. They understand what Shifty's hoping to do, either isolate them into 1v1s or make a desperation play for a buy station. Shifty will continue to move with the gas, hoping that he can shift the pieces around the board and bring a surprise attack. But with every second that passes, the window of opportunity becomes ever smaller.
I like this. Gabe, we've seen him do this time and time again. He's on the hunt. He drops down. You're just playing together. If you are Gen G, you find Shifty finally. You play together. You let the game slip away from you in that last map. Not the case here on Fortune's Keep. Gen G will secure a map win.
Yeah, great stuff. I mean, we go back to the plays that they were making on Rebirth Island. Yes, they get three-piece by Niacin, but he's such a superstar. He has those moments in them. A lot of the conversations on the plays that they were making were brilliant. We've seen them really step up through these last few maps. But here as well, on Fortune's Keep, it's important. They're actually a really bang average team when it comes to this map. So to see them get this win here in our first drop, again, leaps and bounds above where they were just a week.
Gen G superfans going crazy here in the building. Excited to see their team that they are here to cheer on, grab a map win. But let's talk about this endgame, man, because this was huge. Aiden MXR up. He's able to rip the armor, slides across Adrian and destroy. I thought that VP was in a great position there.
Yeah, VP were in a wonderful position to get a little bit unlucky with the RNG of the zone pull. But I think a little bit before. And collected from the fellas. I like that.
Kills, so we actually really needed that.
I agree. That's exactly what they needed. I want to go back to before the end game, and when Orban's shooting at them from above, great decision making from Aiden and Gabe. They just slow things down, we'll let everybody else fight, and we'll get active on the backside, and that puts them in the spot there to close that map out. So the maturity in those decisions, the complete lack of stress that they're feeling out there on the map, that's 2 world champions on that team, and that is why they have the experience to overcome the odds.
Hey, you love seeing it out of Gen G. We only have one more game to play for Group A. And when we're coming and talking about Fortune's Keep, I think there's some teams that we think are heating up and a couple other teams that are maybe getting iced out a little bit on that map. We got one more game to go, so let's go ahead. Let's reset. Let's get everybody in the lobby. We'll be right back here in a little bit.
It's a dream come true. Like when I first joined Falcons, I didn't really know anything about orgs or esports or even EWC at all. But as the years gone on, they've been nothing but like a big brother, like true family, like a village. When I'm doing high and I'm winning, they show me so much love. But even when I'm down and out and it seems like I'm not going to win the tournament, they still pick me up and treat me like one of their own.
At the end of the day, I'm thinking about the team. I want to win for the team. I want to win for Vitality for the club championship. They've been getting us invested. We were out supporting the MLB team and the PUBG team. It would definitely feel bittersweet to go back to back, and obviously that's the end goal.
Incredibly confident. I'll never play a tournament without the expectation to win. I'm here to defend the title and get that trophy again.
Someone who came off of the 3P, run that I was on, anything if it's not first, I'm upset about that. Yeah, I'm gonna win EWC 2026.
I wanted a whole new roster, something like a new life. Dong, Eddie, I knew they were insane players, so I wanted to definitely team with them, and we're chasing for a 3P, man. So We are the best team, no doubt, out there. Everyone knows that, and we're going to show on finals that. I want to get these clubs for the Falcons because they need it as well. So Falcons will three-peat the club championships.
Welcome back, friends. Miles and Seymour here on stage. Mate, what a great final map that was.
That was fantastic. I mean, we heard it from the team as well. We heard it from the casters. It was 2 world champions versus 1 at the end there. You thought Shifty could get it done, maybe get a buyback and regain for the squad, but I think that's a big one for Gen G. You heard it from Aiden. They needed the win. They haven't been getting many kills. Their placement, not that great.
Still. Certainly helps. 2 versus 1. Simple maths, right, friends? Simple maths. But mate, that final circle as well. Nice position to be. Nice position to be in. I mean, Aiden's 2-piece was literally perfect.
I think that VP could have had the opportunity if the zone pull was a little bit better. Aiden puts himself in the best spots. It's why he's an EWC champion. It's why we saw him turn up last year and really switch the difference alongside, Z-Smith, alongside Almond. And even with Gen G, you don't expect that to really change. You turn up, you got the crowd, you're in that environment. You expect him to bring that energy. And I liked that when we went back to the comms of Gen G after the game was done. You heard him injecting that energy towards the rest of the team. They got the fans behind them. We're here at backstage. Everybody's going crazy for Gen G, and you love it.
Yeah, we're going to go over and see those guys in a moment. But yeah, we're getting to the sort of dangerous part of the tournament now where we will be saying goodbye to some teams. Bottom 3 will be leaving us. We'll see who our top 5 are as our brackets are pretty much we're getting sort of set. I mean, it's a couple of them are a little too obvious. But let's go for a walk. Let's have a look at this stage. It's a wonderful time here. If you are joining us here in Paris, if you are watching from home, it's also a lovely time. But yeah, it's been a great tournament so far. The Gen G fans, who I'm sure have had themselves a time so far. A big win. Well deserved.
I feel like we got to hear some Gen G chants.
Can they do it again? Back to the casters.
Woo! I love the energy. I love the hype that we have here in Paris. Group A, one last game to play, one last opportunity for Gen G to put on for their fans here in the audience. First game of Fortune's Keep was, I feel like, a little bit interesting. I felt like everybody finally on land was maybe having a lot of respect for their opposition because we get to the point where Resurgence is disabled and we still have 13 teams up.
No, yeah, all happening very late here on Fortune's Keep. And we knew it was going to be a slower map, right? The rotating is hard, so a lot of teams have adapted this play style of land relatively center circle and just set up for defensive positions. And you see that kind of operating even to the later stages of the map. Eventually, of course, what that means, circle pushes you all together and says, gentlemen, you're going to square down either way. Get on with it. So lovely little end games come through. And I think that will be a familiar theme for Fortunes unless we get those really hard zones off towards your east, west, etc. But it will be some great positioning in the end and some great execution in the end from Gen G that sees them through on a map that they've struggled in as of recently. Again, that change that they've made to bring Gabe in as the IGL paying out in spades. But one last drop for the day here. If you are in Group A, and then it's to either celebrate in style or lick your wounds and prep in for tomorrow.
Go all the players as we look towards the circle, and it is pulling northeast. You're likely talking somewhere around Winery, so that's why you're going to see not only 2 teams inside of there, but a lot of squads setting up keep side. Yeah, I mean, all of these teams down here in town are going to have a hell of a rotation to get on out of there. So I'm not surprised to see that Gen G, they say, hey, let's go ahead and maybe make this easy on ourselves. Let's take this fight. Mentality. Good shots from Gabe. He gets 1 knock, and you're not even going to try and get the reach out. He's going to go ahead, throw a shimmy, shoulders come through, and he's going to be able to reset. And now you have Lemon on that backside to catch Skullface. Gen G clinical in this early fight.
Yeah, great stuff out of them. Vitality slow thus far through this afternoon, just not been at the levels we'd come to expect, but that has only favored
this lineup on your screen right now as they set up to collapse. And that doesn't even need the support in the end. Beautiful work onto Sage. Even going to get an extra half second. But it is then a lot of landmass gained. You still do have one Vitality body in amongst the mix, but if you get Winery at this point as Gen G, you have so much space in the map, especially controlling the later stuff.
All right. Well, one POI being Winery. We see the battles rage on, but we got to check in on this keep fight because it's Virtus Pro and Ravens continuing to battle. And for the time being, it looks like Virtus Pro will come out the victors. You sent the Ravens packing out of here. Unfortunately, you do not have the POI for free. You still have FaZe Clan lurking around here as well as a number of other squads. You can see maybe some members of Twisted Mind starting to work their way over. So already, we're starting to see some early action here. Let's check in with Heretics. Great early start from them, but they've kind of slid down the leaderboard, currently sitting in 7th overall, so just halfway through. Need to continue having some of those world star performances like we saw earlier on in the day.
We talked about it. Their kills are fine. It's the placement. It's setting themselves up for rotations. Again, Fortune's such a difficult map to rotate through. You don't want to be forced to do one, especially if Shadow doesn't typically lean on them. Teeny's about to run into Freddy. We see him trying to get blocked a little bit of timing. Here's in. Loses the gunfight regardless. Freddy has been a ridiculous shooter as of recently. Collectic desperately needing points. Currently sit in 11th. But that drop-off in the bottom 3 is only 4 points behind them. So they are doing the right things to get moving here on Fortunes.
Nielsen. That's down Adrian. Look who's kind of maybe entered the party here a little bit. You got some members of T1 who are looking to get into the mix. You only have one player over here, but that's all you need. Just, hey, find a kill, go ahead, back on up. But Twisted Minds, they have the exact same idea as well. They're looking to maybe get a little bit more aggro from that Terrace's side. You understand you have a lot going on, and, well, if you played ranked at all, you understand what's going on here, but unfortunately, this isn't ranked. This is the Esports World Cup where kills matter, but when your anchor is just up in the sky, not a bad way to stay alive.
It isn't until someone decides, why the hell are you up there? I'm going to burn through that and get you the hell out to keep. And a look at Twisted, as well as Virtus Pro. And of course the Ravens. Adrian already on 3. Has the loadout in hand. Him and Grime are just going to oscillate around one another. The problem is the FaZe have actually isolated your anchor, so you got to slow things down, pause for a moment. If anything presses you, spring on it. But otherwise, let Destroy back in. Get him to safety, then get active.
For Nielsen, you're just laying in wait. You're trying to maybe get some type of audio cue. Maybe figure out some type of push.
As all these fights go on, by the way, just burn through time that you don't have. You desperately want your loadout. You want your money for your advance. That comes from contracts and moving around in space to then set you up for the rotation. While all these fights go on, the points are glorious, sure, but it sets you up for hell trying to get out of keep later on.
No, that's a really, really good point. When we saw it there in game number 1. We hit up. So your opportunity to find those kills early on is massive. Do it while you have the resurgence. Do it while you have the respawn. Don't wait until, obviously, the respawns get disabled. You can see for a couple of these teams that it's kind of working out well for them. I'm looking in the kill feed. You're seeing Gen G starting to still get active against Vitality. Filling it out. For Twisted Minds, it's, well, been a little bit slow, I think, already. You saw them trying to maybe get into that keep fight. Doesn't really find any success. And I think for the right reason, right? They're worried about some of these teams pushing from that graveyard side, sneaking up behind them. So I think they really want to clear out their back before they maybe get too aggressive on the front.
Yeah, this is a mature decision to make. Showing your back is well protected. Reaper did have to come out the chopper eventually. He's on the boat, gets the initial knock. However, Skullface is also at the backside of the boat. Stukex now. He actually gets saved by Reaper that allows him to then shoot at Skullface. We basically saved him. Chopper's going to go up. Stukex does well to avoid the explosion. Reaper's still making moves on the lower side. VST is going to help him drop Decky in the water. But 3 different teams here. Make it a 4th as another lands in the water nearby. And everyone's just trying to play him for this bolt, because it can do a lot of work for you in terms of rotating. It could be a real sleeper way back into this matchup.
Skull is just saying, I'll hang out in the water. You guys can all have fun up there. He's just picking up all the scraps of these fights that are happening. He says, yeah, sure, whatever. And he still even has a teammate over at Bay that can look over him as well. So if he's just going to be able to maybe bring some of these players out into that line of sight, teammate from range can just try and get any amount of damage in, this could be huge. Looks like EK have a similar idea. But back on land, get our feet underneath us. T1 looking to control this spiral area that they've come to know and love. It's been a great day for them so far. And I know that they would love to finish this first day within that top 5.
Certainly would. Really strong Havens, solid rebirth, good stuff from there. Fortunes has been the weaker of their 3 maps, but they're by no means awful on it. So an opportunity to close that gap to the top 5 at the end of day 1. Virtus.pro still alive in keep. Destroy, begging anyone to chase him through the doorways. It's going to be Blast in position on the very top of the tower here. He's just going to control all of this, make sure his boys can move down beneath him. Almond and Shifty. Well, Almond is often the anchor. He and Shifty have worked so much together in the moments where Twisted want to get active. And Shifty himself, he's been active. 6 kills already. Now the information will go up into the skies, and they can press on forward against these teams that will be outmaneuvered.
It's a really good timing there. You see they just invest all of the smokes so they can just sit on that buy station, get their UAVs, and pop them. Sometimes you think it's just easy. Let me run to the buy station, let me buy my 4 UAVs and get out. They know that people are going to be looking at these buy stations. So with all that information, what do? They move into the keep. They find the players of Ravens, and they go ahead and they wipe them from
first box. Will be first. Arrives relatively quickly in FaZe Clan, who are starting to get themselves their loadouts in. So your timing is running out if you are Twisted to set up this noose and draw it close before they can get out. Clampico have escaped off into the caves. I think Twisted are going to afford them that space for now because they're more preoccupied with Virtus.pro, and they do find Grimy.
I mean, FaZe may have an opportunity to pop up here, but they're going to do it. They have to do it quick because already Almond down below. You catch Destroy running. You go guns up against another one, and just like that, you isolate one by one, and you take down Virtus.pro cleanly.
Counter UAV up there, by the way. Because of the shades of orange, I couldn't tell if that was Virtus.pro's or FaZe's, but if that is FaZe's, we're a little bit worried right now because you are trapped in these caves beneath, trying desperately not to attract attention. You may have it regardless. Shifty's just going to peer on over, spots one, and if the others move out in front and he has the trigger discipline and the timing, could be a set of kills. Winery, though, we talked about it, was going to be very active. Novo tucked inside the chapel here as 4 other teams battle over the remaining buildings. They'll be happy with their pocket of space. The next zone will shift them out. It's actually going to be CT Gaming in the preferred position, and Tequila, he's trying to hold that Twisted Minds roster out.
Yeah, I think you called it out beautifully. I want to know where this zone is going to pull because it's really go, and wow, I'm going to call you a prophet, my friend, because as it pulls just a little bit more north, CT Gaming, they're going to hold some of these L buildings, and they're going to do exactly that. They're just going to look at this chapel side, look across, and just try maybe take down anybody that dares peek their head.
The problem is that Tequila oversteps his marker, pokes his head out a little bit too long, Blasties cuts him down. You should have a buy station available to you if you're CT Gaming to get that back in, but just in that moment, Heretics are done. They're dealt with. We're down to our top 10.
Top 10 here. This is a great game for Twisted Minds. Let's go ahead. Let's see how the defending champions are feeling.
Maybe we can get an advance in keep too, bro. Yeah, no. I don't hear anything. Okay.
Okay, start coming to the buy on us, Shifty. Start coming to the buy on us. We're gonna pop here. I'm about to pop.
Yeah, I don't think there's anything here. Should we go? I'll bring it up.
Okay.
You need my cash?
Yeah, I think so.
No, I don't think you do. Yeah.
Oh, no, I don't.
24. I'm getting a streak.
Yeah.
Get into this house, bro. You got 12.
Yeah, look at the left. Yeah, you guys should work those left kids. Work the left kids, by the way.
Yeah, that low cave. I'm a crazy angle, bro. He is looking. I'm a PA, though. I don't know if we can kill him, though.
No res money, though. Like, don't die for kills.
Yeah. I mean, look at the solo fucking ahead of us. Can we not work these right here? I swear we can. Yeah, you can. Yeah. Strike the left. Yeah, watch over both. Watch over both. I'm used to PA. This gets dying. Left's gonna die. Focus left. Focus left.
Twisted Minds, they want to take a little bit of a moment. They need to hit that buy station, get the tools that they need to try and close this map on out. And you hear in the comms, they know that FaZe is below them. They want to try and deal with them.
Two huge comms. First one is trying to work the players on the left so that they can rotate through the northern side of the map. It's actually going to be where the zone's going to pull. So all the decisions that just happened will pay out in spades if you are Twisted Minds. But also, don't scam. Don't sell yourself for a kill. Play for the positioning. We're 4 teams away from top 5, and the rest of the map can deal with that for us. We have win condition. Twisted Minds looking great to close the day out.
There's literally nobody in this new zone right now. Everybody's sitting on the outside of it. An opportunity right now to start to rein in Hellfire. Some of these coaches looking on as they see the zone pull and saying, how the hell do you play against this? Killer found by Blast. It's going to leave a couple members of CT Gaming having to make this push out. But Twisted Minds, all they have to do is just look over the top of this. There's so many different teams that the second they try and play up, the second they try and play on this top level ground, they're going to get zapped.
Roman has to drop back actually to lift Shifty back to his feet. That means, unfortunately, as Blast pushes out to gain space, he gets dropped. Eclectic back amongst the mix. T1 have eliminated Vitality. Everything starts to squeeze. All these teams inside of the bay are going to have to rotate out. DK down on the shoreline are going to be a problem. And Shifty's banging away and anyone dares show their head.
Yeah, this is a great timing, a great opportunity. See here, just look at the kill feed. It's absolutely blowing on up, but look where the zone pulls.
We'll be right now as everyone moves out in front of Twisted Minds. Almond Shifty, unfortunately, only as a 2 here. Will be going to drop Echo. Stukes then plays on Disrupt and Shifty finds Spam. T1 sat down. I think he will have a cell still available on Spam, but Gen G is a 2. Gonna just set themselves up for a moment. Hope that GK get over aggressive. Shifty and Almond, they're going to wait. They're going to let this all move out because FaZe Clan are beneath them and they need them to step out first.
It's all just twos. That's all it is. It's just a game of duos here to end. Some early shots coming on out. Clamp's gonna get aggressive. Nades up over the top. Says, thank you, GK. I like this positioning. And they will take them on down. Now, does Gen G, do they swing on out, hearing all of this commotion, or do they play on that inside? A little bit of a gas play coming in from the remaining teams.
Clam just taking his sweet time, begging Gen G to rotate round. Zone's going to shift Twisted Minds up on top of the houses here. But Almond, he's in the prime position again so early. The leader, the champion, the IGL, everything that he brings to the table. Given Twisted Minds win condition right now, it will be a 2v2, but game falls to the gas. Aiden on his lonesome to try and close this one out. The buy's there, but Almond and Shifty, they won't care. This is welcoming extra points in from the skies.
Yeah, that's exactly what's going to happen. I mean, you might get some opportunity to give you the angle. Yeah, and unfortunately, both players from Gen G just going to be too weak from that gas play. Twisted Minds, they might just be able to play a little bit patient. They get blessed by a zone pull, and they're able to clean up that last game here at Group A, game number 6.
I go back to listening. I go back to the comms that we've talked so often about their comms problems and the issues that they've had at times. Shifty gets dropped in that moment, and there's a kind of like in the comms you can hear it. Don't scam. We don't need to sell for kills, but also let's play these guys on the left. So they start to pressure the northern side. They don't do it by sending themselves onto the beach and into the caves. They hold the high ground still to allow in case the zone moves. So that then gives them opportunities in different areas of avenues that they can play around. That pays out in the end. However, it's that don't throw your lives for kills. Yes, Blast eventually dies. That's not an overextension. He's trying to provide on with time to get shifted back to his feet. So great stuff from him. But also it's just a reminder, guys, we have win condition. We can let everybody else wobble over the small mass. We're just going to hold out on the long range and play that game. Do it brilliantly to get the win in the end.
Yeah, I mean, listen, that's what we've come to know here in Call of Duty Warzone is that you can always just try and play for the best positioning or you play for the okay one. And it feels like for T1, they were like, let me just play for the okay one. Maybe we'll just wait to see where this zone pulls. Let's take a little look.
Baby. I say that's a fucking banger we fucking needed. Come on, bro.
Ooh, Big Ben. He's getting loud.
I think he's been fantastic. And don't get me wrong, obviously, Blast and Shifty are both doing their thing. But at the core of everything has been almost decision-making and comms. Let's go back to even early on in that map. Keep The war was raging on for a long time. We need to get out of here. We need to get into a position on the other side and keep set ourselves up for the late circle. What's the call from Almond? Shifty, come with me. We're going to hit the buy station, get the advance up, and make light work of this. Just that little decision there makes it so much easier for them and puts them in the best spot.
Fun little stat line for you through these first 6 games. Blast by 2 kills, 26 and 24.
Having a day.
I don't know what it is, what meta shift we have, but the anchors are now coming alive and frying here when we've come over map. But it's really good stuff. Twisted Minds with that win and solid number of kills. They were lead our lobby at the end of day number 1 for. I got to think that they might want a little bit of momentum going into day 2, because reminder, folks, leader of the group gets to be the one that actually crushes the keys of the 3 teams eliminated. So for Twisted Minds right now, they are sitting very comfortably towards the top after these first 6 games. Really love what we saw out of the boys here today, especially with all of the noise.
Yes.
I don't think they're as good as they were. I think maybe they shut up the haters. But here we go already. End of the game here. End of the first 6 games. We got Barney on the stage ready for an interview. Let's go ahead. Let's see what he has to say.
Right, you do, gentlemen. I'm down here on the stage. I've got Fedi joining me from Novo Esports. A really impressive day. It didn't start out so hot, though, did it? But you guys started to pick up some steam.
Yeah, it started pretty slow, but at the end we got like 60 points of rebirth. That's what it matters. We're gonna play like this tomorrow as well, and we're gonna try to make top 5. So we're gonna skip survival stage. That's what it matters.
I love it. I love the confidence. You got 3 top 4 finishes as well. Talk us through some of the highlight moments for you guys, because since you've settled into this team, you've been so impressive to see, man.
Yeah, well, in a game, I think we clutched up because we stayed off the zone. We killed that VP, and then we got like 26 kills plus top 5. So that's where we started to play way better. And the game next, we got like 30 points again. So it was like a huge motivational boost as well.
I love that. That's what we like to see out here. A bit of consistency, because that's how you're going to get into that finals day. I want to talk a little bit about you, Fedi, because a lot of people had their eyes on you, like, coming into these kind of larger tournaments, and also because, you only kind of turned 18 this year as well. You joined the team after Birmingham. You joined 2 legends in Blade and Vortex as well. Tell us how it's been fitting into the dynamic of this team, and also feeling like you might be the missing link that's making this team now absolutely pop off on the main stage.
Yeah, well, it was not good because I didn't play for 2 years. I started to play Warzone like at 15, but I didn't play for 2 years because I wasn't 18. And now I'm happy because I can finally show up. And that's my second LAN, international. We played Atlanta really good. And now I play WC really good.
And how does it feel to play alongside Blade and Vortex, 2 legends of the game?
Well, really good. I'm playing really good with Vortex. We have a nice trade as well. So I'm just liking it. We're just playing really good.
Having a good time out here on the EWC stage. Fedi, thanks so much for joining me in this interview. Really appreciate it. He's gone. Don't worry about it. We're going to head back to the studio to talk about what we just saw in those first 6 games.
The confidence for Novo is there. He didn't even want to wait for Barney to finish talking. He just ended up walking off. And that's what a lot of these players are currently feeling like, especially with everybody that is done with Group A. I'm here with Miles, Gush, Shift, and myself, the 7WG. Honestly, let's start off with the top. Twisted Minds. What an impressive day today, Chef.
Yeah, and consistent across every single map. That's the thing that certain teams don't have in their back pocket that Twisted Minds is now showing us. Huge confidence boost for them, not being able to just finish multiple top fives, but to do it across a multitude of different maps with high kill tallies almost every single lobby. They're looking strong.
They haven't done this in a while, guys. I know the land buff is real for this team. I think a lot of folks expected them to show up in this way, but this is a really big deal for a team like this, who still kind of had a lot to prove, even though they were defending champions. Making roster changes this late in the game, it's working.
Hey, man, they're like that potpourri at Grandma's house. That smell is just everywhere.
Ooh.
Everywhere.
Gosh, you were actually telling me before we came on live that one team that has impressed you so far today when we're talking about consistency is none other than VP.
Yeah. Yeah, Virtus Pro is a really interesting team because traditionally speaking, throughout the course of this entire series, they've been a very high caliber slaying team. Placement-wise has been frankly brutal to watch sometimes. They'll pick up like 15, 16 kills, but not even get a multiplier at all. They'll die in the first like 6 teams, right? And so to see them win 2 games in group stages, it is group stages. I want to kind of bring everybody back down to ground level. They got a lot more work to do, but Virtus Pro is looking good. They're slaying out and they're getting placements.
Yeah, top 5 right now, I think, in total team kills, which is right to your point. But that's kind of the thing, though, you know, as much as placements don't necessarily make the biggest of difference right now because you're just fighting to get out of pools, it is good to win. Do it on multiple maps. Take 7.
Wait, which one? I feel like you have had multiple today.
I'm still standing on the Ravens right now. 2 miserable maps to finish off their last 2, slips them down the standings. They are still top 4. They're going to make it into at worst the survival stage, but I'm still standing that Ravens are going to be on the bubble to make it to the instant playoffs after tomorrow.
Okay, I kind of want you to double down on this. All right, by the way, for everybody watching, this is the standings after the 6 matches that we have had today. I'm going to put you on this spot.
Do it.
I have to shift. Ravens, do they end up making it top 5 tomorrow? Yes or no?
No.
Okay. Can I just say, I love Shift. I love the hot takes, and I think it's a fair take to see them not dominating like they have. You got to remember, they land with Twisted Minds in 2 out of 3 of the maps. The fact that they're top 4 right now is pretty dang impressive, given how much Twisted Minds is also doing well. Still a little bit different than online.
Well, a couple of wins for them. I mean, Ravens, I'm with you, man. And also, Chef, for your sake, I'm glad that the French crowd can't hear us right now.
This is beautiful for me.
We're going straight out to the internet.
I'm kind of glad that there's nobody behind us right now. It's probably going to get worse. But as we're looking here at the second page, we see those bottom 3 teams.
Yeah, this is a big deal.
Oof, indeed.
I mean, the biggest deal about this is that at least H1 FaZe Clan and First Squad can go back to the lab before tomorrow. First Squad is kind of in the trenches right now. You need some meteoric games tomorrow to have even a chance. But H1 is still well within striking distance. They may need to change up some drop spots or maybe just be a bit more consistent. I don't know.
Yeah, for First Squad, 19 points.
It's tough.
Yeah, First Squad out. I think they can add that to the back.
That tells you that we're getting a kill, and if we're really lucky, we're getting within the top 10. That's the very best you're seeing there. So for those guys, a mid to late game adjustment could change it for them.
But, I mean, the other big note on this page, too, Eclectic has actually been crushing it in the onlines, especially in scrims recently. And you see them on the second page here. It's surprising, at least for me.
Really tough first 2 drops, though, Goach, on top of that. I mean, they had a 16 with 1 kill.
Yeah.
But everything else beyond that has been 10+ eliminations, and the last 2 maps in particular have been top 8. So they're trending, in the right direction. It's going to be a stretch for them to get to top 5, but they should be out of the survival.
Well, Novo I agree. And Novo on screen now, Fede, we had a great interview with him. The kid's cracked, okay? There's no debating it. It has taken this team a little while to get warmed up, but today they look mighty warm here, 7. I mean, at the end of the day, when you're averaging top 5 every game in the first 6 rounds, you've got to be feeling amazing for tomorrow.
Yeah, and Miles, we're talking about setting the tone for today, right? I feel like for some of the squads, maybe the pressure was getting to them or the pressure wasn't getting to them, and you can kind of see that with Novo. With Novo, they were sounding so confident at the end.
That's a young man speaking with the wisdom of a much older player there. I mean, surrounded by legends certainly helps, but when we envy the youth, but we don't envy being old. But now there's the wisdom there, man. Truly a very, very special thing. And again, looking confident in game, marking their territory. They were looking really strong in and out. And that's the sort of thing you want to be seeing throughout the tournament for them. So excited to see how the rest of the tournament goes for those boys.
Absolutely. For Novo, really, it's just get to the lab on Haven's Hollow. They were fine everywhere else. They talked about the rebirth boost that they were able to find in maps 2 and 3, or 3 and 4 rather. They just need to go back to the lab, figure out what they're doing on Havens. They're going to be fine.
And for tomorrow, after what we have seen so far in this first 6 games, especially for Group A, we do have Group B coming up. So for everybody watching, don't worry, we have some fun segments that we're going to be doing here. And if at any moment you want to share some stuff with us, make sure you use that hashtag EWC and hashtag EWC26. But let's keep talking about Group A here for a little bit, because we saw the tone being set by Twisted Minds. And boy, did they end up setting that tone. If you're one of those teams towards the bottom, right, and we're looking at a team being able to end up with just 19 points, you're going to be looking to throw everything in the kitchen sink tomorrow.
It's a tough group to play in. I'm going to be honest. Just making it to this stage is impressive. So even for a team at the very bottom of our leaderboards, they did have to battle through their regional qualifiers. Unfortunately, the regional qualifiers are nothing compared to what we're seeing here, even in a group stage.
That's the thing with the regionals. I mean, how many players in the APAC region? How many players in the LATAM region? And what kind of quality are we looking at? You might be the best in your region, but out here, it's just the rest of the world, and the ceiling is so high. So an impressive thing to do. Not an easy place to be playing from. Best of luck, boys.
Yeah, best of luck. I also want to give some luck, and hopefully, hey, let's get back into the lab. Vitality. They've had their ups and downs, but still, it's still a similar inconsistent team that I'm personally cheering on big time. Like, I'm not trying to be biased, but I love these guys. They've had their moments of greatness online and in person today, but they're not consistent enough. They're still second page.
I think it's okay to be biased.
Yeah, it's
okay.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I'm getting my Ravens down here.
Okay.
No, I'm just kidding. I'm just people. They're lovely people. But no, you're absolutely right about Vitality. I think what they're missing right now is longevity after forcing a lot of early fights. They had 2 really tough exits in terms of placement, but they were still able to find 7 kills, 9 kills, but you finished 14th and 16th. So it's trying to get the longevity to where you're not just forcing gunfight after gunfight, but let's be a little bit more measured and make sure we can at least survive, and we'll find fights later.
In the running.
Oh man,
to stay try to find another win with a totally different roster as well. For me, that is what I want. I mean, the biases aside, I'm here for a good, clean fight. I want a little bit of rivalry. I want to see those guys go at it in the finals.
It's worth bringing up the exact same storyline for another player, Aiden. I know the roster change it was made much earlier in the process leading into this series, but at the same time, it's still Aiden technically getting dropped. They wanted to go a different direction, and Gingy's kind of popping off.
Especially the last 2 matches.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, we were keeping an eye on them. We're like, okay, they're starting a little bit slow, but then it was everybody from that squad that actually started popping off.
Yeah, first and second back-to-back, and kill tallies have been consistent, even no matter what their placements have been. So, like, again, it's just like day number 1 is all about, like, let's set our checklist and see who's marking the boxes in the right ways. And so far, our top 5 teams have largely been able to do that. Yes, there are a couple of things that might not be perfect, but they're still feeling each other out on land. And yeah, absolutely right. Genji, hide kills, crushing in terms of being able to find good point tallies.
Oh gosh, I know you're casting the next Group B.
Yeah.
And we're gonna give you a bit of a sneak peek of what's gonna be coming in Group B, because when you were trying to say, I'm not trying to be biased, but I'm gonna be biased as heck when we go to Group B, because I want Falcons to be able to. I want to see Soka to just show that personality and for them to start off hot. What are you gonna be looking for in Group B?
I think they put out the caster prediction somewhere, and I put Falcons as well.
My boy.
At the end of the day, I got you. At the end of the day, here's the hard part about Warzone. We always say anybody can win. It's always possible. Any team can come out on top. But for the Falcons, they got a little bit better chance than everybody else. Their win percentage is nearly, especially on LAN. This year, it is infallible. They have not lost a LAN yet at this entire World Series, or this entire Resurgence Series competition. Birmingham, Atlanta, they were near perfect. They're trying to stay perfect in today's competition as well.
I often get asked the question, hey, how do you describe Warzone? How do you describe competitive BRs to people? I'm like, okay, here's what you do. You take a laundry machine, you take a bag, you fill that bag full of cats, and you put those cats inside there, and you turn it on, you create this insane cycle. Then you take a brick, and you add a brick to the mix. And at the end of it, we find out, are you a cat or are you a brick? The Falcons have been a brick for the longest of time. Now, I know, folks, that was a really horrible analogy. I know it was a very graphic analogy, but I'm not wrong.
You just reminded me that I need to do my laundry, so thank you, Miles. I appreciate
Are you a brick or are you a cat?
A team that was definitely not a brick today is none other than VP. Thank you so much, boys. I think we have an interview with none other than VP.
Well, Miles, I can definitely tell you I'm a brick right now. All right. Now I got the boys with me here. It's VP. We got the whole couch. Lace joined with me as well.
Taking me away from that desk. They're scary.
I mean, exactly right. You hear how they talking over there. They are unhinged. Now we're hanging out with the boys, man. VP, how are you feeling with your performance today? Going down the line, we got Destroy, we got Grimy, we got Adrian. But Adrian, I want to talk to you real quick before you pass the mic on over. I got a chance to chat with you before. How proud are you of you guys' consistency and performance going into the first set?
Super proud. We went in there, going fully with comms, trying the best that we could possibly play. I'm super excited. I'm super proud how we played, if I'm being completely honest.
I mean, there was a moment we got to listen in, and we can definitely hear like the passion that you guys had in your communication, and that sets you apart because we've had some other listen-ins with other teams, and they are dead silent. So I mean, that's a test to you guys. Congratulations.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Definitely is. You pass the mic on over to Destroy over here because when you talk about passion, we seen you looking in the camera, letting everybody at home know that I am here to play with my squad, and we're gonna do the thing, man. Talk to me about your feelings kind of before the match and get it into it.
I mean, I already know, and I think everyone at home knows that Virtus Pro is a team when we are on all shooting and locked in on all cylinders, that we are probably one of the top 3 teams in the whole entire world. So I think for us today, it was just making sure that we had the right communication, we were trusting each other, and we just started the tournament off hot. We talked about it yesterday as well. Like, as long as we communicate well and just trust each other whenever, I make a call or something and they listen like that, then we should have no issue out there, especially in the open bracket. We already felt confident that we were going to do decent, but today, man, we got 2 wins under our belt, and it just felt really, really good because we were all shooting on all cylinders.
I love that, and I want to use that to kind of segue into Hollow, all right? Did you guys get any curveballs in that first map within the first 2 as far as POI changes where the heals was going to be? Talk to me about your mindset, especially going into that map 2 and the one that you won.
Yeah, so for the first game, it ended up pulling a little bit off of our main POI, which is the computer zone next to research. And we knew we had to rotate, so we sent a couple of lives in research. We were able to pick up some kills. And then as we were rotating out, after we picked up some of our kills, we weren't in the position. And I think we might have got just outside the top 5, but we just kind of got caught on where we should have been. We talked about it afterwards, like we should have forced a fight that would have put us in a better spot.
Okay.
But after that game, then we had a really, really good zone in game number 2. Ended up going pond uncontested, which I don't think we will have for the rest of the tournament. But we had a really good zone pool there. Grimy in the beginning of the game, he's like, holy crap, boys, we should be able to win this game with this zone. Mind you, super, super early. And then we just did what we had to do, picked up some nice kills, trusted each other, and rotated when the time was needed, and it was beautiful.
Yeah, I mean, I want to dive a little bit more into match number 2 because, you kind of had like that northern side zone, especially the chaos that was unfolding in Mansion. And now I've heard that you guys were sort of more of a kill-hungry team and not focusing so much on placement, but that game, it obviously switched around. You guys, I think, are about 5.4 average placement over your games, which is, a lot higher than, say, Twisted Minds, who's just above you in those kills and stuff. What did you guys sort of, take back to the drawing board after being such a kill-focused team to now prioritize more of those placements? Because it's showing with winning, 2 of these.
So to start off, I mean, we have Grimy on our team, and pretty much every single game, this guy's literally a walking 8 to 10 kills as long as me and Adrian stay alive for the most part. So with a zone like that where we don't have to rotate too much, me and Adrian can kind of just play safer, hold our POI down, and have Grimy go and rake up a lot of the kills for us. I think that game he was 8 to 10 kills around that area, and he was just raking up kills. I kind of lurked around Mansion because I know in my head that Ravens and Twisted Minds are over there. Picking up a couple stragglers as they're flying back in because they're fighting pretty much the whole time. Picked up some stragglers, and then I would just stay and help my anchor out. And then Grimy, man, he doesn't disappoint when we're locked in, so he's just always going to pick up those kills. I mean, at home, that was our biggest problem, getting placement and stuff. So we kind of focused throughout the weekend just making sure that we get a little more consistent on getting those top 5s for that multiplier.
I love that. Let's talk to the Slayer on the team, Grimy over here. Now, going into Rebirth Island, you guys also win that map as well, going into map number 4. Talk to me about your perspective about what you guys kind of learned in that map 3 versus that transition going into that map 4, where you guys took over and dropped the most amount of kills that you guys did get on the win, which was 18.
Well, in game 3, FaZe and Nova, we're just fighting control the whole game. So I just knew if we made an end game, we would be able to force Nova out. And it ended up pulling towards like 10s and green. D made a great comm that we had an advance. He said no one's green. So we just all ran. We took green. We dropped money. I dropped money to D. He bought back Adrian. We took green. And that was that.
That was that, man, right?
It's just that easy.
That easy, home free to the victory, you know? But one thing I love about you guys is I can tell that you believe in each other. When those call outs are coming in and throughout the mic, you guys are just, it's calming your nervous system down. You're like, hey, D made the call. We're going to go with that. We're going to hold off right here. Grimey's feeling confident. Let's ride this out. Like, Adrian, does that, alleviate some pressure off your gameplay when you're hearing your teammates like that?
Absolutely. I mean, Destroy is kind of, saying what's going on. We have an advanced UAV like Grimey. He's looking for those free rotations. And Grimey, he's playing the kills. I think they both took like a super, super crazy 1v1, and they both won the 1v1. So that kind of set us up right there. And I mean, if Grimey's slaying, I'm going to try my best to hype him up.
Yeah.
And same for D. Like, they're both super, super individually talented. And
you guys hang out like outside of games or something because to form the communication, I just imagine some teams doing like trust exercises and stuff like that. Are you guys like pals like outside of competition?
Yeah, I would say so.
You gotta be, right?
Yeah, I feel like you kinda have to.
No matter, back in the day, me and my teammates, we used to have to just watch Netflix on the Xbox back in the day. Remember when they had the theater on the 360? Yeah. Team bonding, we watched Netflix, that was our stuff back then.
No, sure.
What do you guys do though, as far as team bonding? Like any specific activity outside of scrimming?
Honestly,
solitaire,
He likes playing like party games. Sometimes I'll play party games with him. Yeah. I don't know, listen to music, stuff like that. It's really not much.
Hey, whatever it is working right now, just keep on doing it. Now, let's talk about some things that wasn't working in this first set, all right? Any surprises from you, maybe from other teams out there, or surprises to drop something out there within these 6 maps?
Honestly, yeah. I would say, like, I feel a lot of players don't know, like, really what they're doing. And I think it's kind of just leading to people rotating to random POIs and stuff like that, taking random fights. But also that comes with, people not playing the best and kind of, trying to pull something.
Some out.
Yeah.
Out of nowhere here, EWC only, like they're not gonna expect this right now, right? Destroy, you got something you want to elaborate a little bit more on that too as well?
So as they were saying, I think a lot of teams at home were really, really comfortable with one strategy. So when LAN time came and that one strategy didn't work for them, they didn't really know how to adapt or shift to it. For like FaZe, for example, they were landing at control most of the games. They were fighting Novo Esports. We at home know how to do both. We know we know how to play control. So if something goes wrong, we can swap according to how the games are going. Overall, though, I think we were just all shooting. We were all playing confident, trusting each other. As I said, man, we just kind of held it down for Grimey, made sure that we were staying alive, and he would just go rake up kills for us.
Yeah.
And then once fire sale came around 3rd zone, we all communicated that we just have to slow it down a little bit, because I think me and Grimey both sometimes are just so focused on getting these kills. As a lot of people know, we are a kill team, so most of our points do come from eliminations. But if we can continue to secure top 5s like we did today, that will put us over the 100-point threshold, which just gives us such bonus kills, because we're not averaging 8 to 10 kills. That he is averaging that on his own. So when we get a good win, it's usually between 15 and 30 kills, which I feel like a lot of teams, they may get like 4 kills each, maybe 12 kills. But for us, man, we just focus on trusting my calls, the rotations end game, which I was already seeing the vision today. We had a couple of advanced UAVs which helped us get to these power spots, such as you mentioned green. We popped that advanced UAV and I seen it, and I thought my eyes were deceiving me for a second, because you would think that most of the top teams are already
would have been there, but no one was around.
So I'm like, Grimey, let's go. And he, no hesitation, won a critical one. I won one. Then we go over there. when you just end up letting the game play how it plays out because the zone ends up popping back towards control. I have the smoke grenades. I call, yo, let's go, let's go. We all triple. We're just moving as one. So we were just moving beautiful as a team. We're all communicating. I don't have to repeat myself numerous times. They're just all next to me. And the trust was just there today, which I think is the most important thing as an IGL, having your teammates trust you.
VP had a plan and it was executed perfectly.
Oh my God, to the T. All right. Now, last question here quickly. Grimy, I got to ask you because I know you're a straight shooter and you're going to tell it how it is. Going into the next group, who's the team to watch out for in that group going into it? You know, I know probably some people say Falcons. Any surprises in that group?
Definitely G2.
G2.
Definitely
okay.
G2.
All right, you heard it here from Grimy. Watch out for G2. And folks, that's going to do it for me and the boys of VP. Yo, guys, congratulations on y'all consistency. The tournament's still going, but great start to day one. All right, that's going to do it for us on the couch at the pit stop. Back to y'all.
The human body was built to move, not trapped at a desk in one singular posture for 12 hours a day. It's time your chair evolved. This is Secret Lab Titan Evo. Ergonomically engineered for you, gamers, hybrid workers, artists, backing your every move.
But that's how it goes.
For the first time ever, nations will compete across 16 titles over 4 incredible weeks, all in the pursuit of one championship.
This is your chance to stand behind your country, celebrate your players, and witness history from day one. The Battle Royales will include PUBG Battlegrounds, PUBG Mobile, and Apex Legends.
And of course, all of the action will be taking place from November 2nd through to November 29th. But the real question here, Lace, is, of course, who are you supporting?
I'm, of course, going for the Aussies. And look, you know, we got some underdogs, so I'm incredibly excited for Australia.
And I, of course, will be supporting the United States. It's going to be an absolutely insane 4 weeks of competition. So make sure you check it out.
Head over to esportsnationscup.com and buy your tickets now.
Kitty, I feel like we kind of got off to the wrong start when we first met in Paris.
She called me her little dog. On a compris que t'es américaine. On a compris.
So that's why I'm super excited that we get to have a traditional French meal. Oh, bonjour.
Bonjour. Bonjour, mesdames.
Merci beaucoup.
You're welcome.
Merci.
Plaisir.
Oh, I know some of these words.
Okay, like 6 huîtres. It's like one of the best things that you can have as a starter.
Yeah, that sounds good.
And you can have 6 of them. Oh wow.
Enjoy.
Merci beaucoup.
Avec plaisir.
Merci.
You take it with your hands like that.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah. Then you can have that lemon. You
Okay.
can squish. I will do it for you.
I'm okay.
Are we okay here?
I'm okay.
And then you.
And here we go. Viva la France. I got it. I can do it. I can do it.
No, not with the finger.
I did it.
Not with the finger.
I did it.
Why?
It's really good.
You liked it? I'm so pleased. Maybe one more.
Okay. Oh.
How do you feel now?
Trey bone.
And the best part is that we have so much more.
So, pourquoi this?
This is like a type of bluish cheese, and you also have jam with it.
This cheese looks like it has a little something growing on it.
That's the ones that are the most powerful. If you want to really taste cheese, you try that one.
Wow, that is definitely some mold. Now, if I peel it off before I eat it, so you know how sometimes they give you shrimp and the shrimp isn't deveined, so you got to take like the poop out of it. All right, there we go. I think we got, okay, there we go. We got all the mold. Bon appétit.
Oui, à la tienne. So,
regard. Did you regard LaShawn?
No.
You know what this is, Kitty?
Yeah, this is
escargot, a French dish that I am definitely experienced with. So I'm going to teach you how this works. Peep this. So you got these 6 little shells, and what's in them are snails. Now, in order to eat them, it's a little bit of a tricky process, but I'm going to show you. So you use this little clampy clamp. You're going to pick up the shell with the clampy clamp, like saw. Okay, and then you're going to use your fork to dig. Now, when I was little, 3, 2, 1. A little hot. I'm definitely not thinking of Gary the snail right now.
Congratulations.
Merci. So clearly, I've nailed it.
Yeah, you've snailed it.
Ooh, wait, what?
It's a tartare raw meat.
I don't think you're allowed to eat meat raw. That's how you get salmonella.
Oh my god. How do you come up with all of that? What's going on in your brain every day?
It looks like they forgot to bring us a grill. So here's the thing. I can improvise. All right? This is what the Americans know how to do. All right? We bring our own equipment.
What are you doing?
I'm cooking for you. I'm appreciating your culture.
No, it's not appreciating the culture. It's insulting French. It's insulting me.
No. I'll add the salt later, okay? So what do we have next up on the menu, Kitty?
It's called soulmenia.
But salmon is supposed to be pink. So usually when I see fish, it's usually in stick form. I feel like we can just make one slight change to this to make it even better.
What are you doing?
It's just a little bit of ketchup.
Don't do it. Don't
a little bit of ketchup. It's some of my culture with you. So
you don't put ketchup on it.
A little bit of ketchup.
Oh God. Are you here to insult me?
No. This is actually really good. You should try some.
No, I don't want to try it. Don't make me try it. Don't make me try it. Oh my God.
It's really good.
It's just, you've gone too far. You've gone too far. I can't anymore.